Hey, ladies of the Dabbleverse, I'm good at eating pussies.
Mumbling Nick in the back room clearing cool pineapples rules too strict to bear. Mr. C said, "Kid, you've got some flair. Time to break the chains and take the air. I will try my best, won't let it rest. With a mic in hand, I'll ace this test. From the shadows to the limelight's crest, I will try my best. Yeah, I'll try my best. Yeah, I'll try my best." Nick's voice stumbles, but the words ignite. In the chaos, truth takes flight. No more scripts, no boss in sight. He's got his dream, he'll do it right. I will try my best, won't let it rest. With a mic in hand, I'll ace this test. From the shadows to the limelight's crest, I will try my best. Yeah, I'll try my best. Yeah, I'll try my best. Nick's voice stumbles, but the words ignite. In the chaos, truth takes flight. No more scripts, no boss in sight. He's got his dream, he'll do it right. I will try my best, won't let it rest. With a mic in hand, I'll ace this test. From the shadows to the limelight's crest, I will try my best. Yeah, I'll try my best. Interviews roll, stories unfold. Mumbling no more, his voice turns bold. Mr. C cheers from the sidelines cold. Ain't no pineapple left in the cold. Now the studio's his, the future bright. Nick's own podcast is guiding light. No more whispers, his tone takes flight. He's soaring now with all his might. Yeah!
Taz, if you want me to go down on you, I will. I'll try my best. I need a new intro. Anyway, thanks everybody. I am OG Mumbling Nick. This is kind of an unannounced edition of I Will Try My Best. It's kind of been in the works for a few days now. We didn't know if we were going to get it done today or not, but we will be. Ava will be joining me in a moment. She's actually here. She's just off screen for a minute. And we will be going over. We're gonna go over a live that Chris Thompson did called, what the heck is it called? Sorry, Chris. Organized Chaos. He has a live stream called Organized Chaos. I know he has a female co-host. It's just this particular live he was by himself. He went over the, what do you want to call it? The Netflix boycott that was going on briefly, and then he went over a YouTube channel called, what is it called? Queer. Nope, no problem. Called I can't remember what the heck it's called now. Something queer kids something. Um, and pretty much the live stream was on, um kind of saying that, like, this is what our kids are watching, and there's indoctrination going on and everything. And ava and i Ava and I actually haven't talked too much about this, just very vaguely, because I don't really want to know what she's going to say. I didn't really want her to know what I was going to say. We can kind of go over this together. I'm not even saying that I don't disagree with everything Chris said, but I do disagree with some of it, and I actually disagree with the overarching tone of the whole thing. And then if time prevails, I'll try and make sure it prevails. We will be going over a second video. It's not too long, on some a right wing YouTuber who could be doing some right wing indoctrination using young kids. So it's just trying to compare the two. You know, what's up, young old vibes? I know my buddy Mr. Z's in here. Sorry, 1 second. Sorry, had an issue there. Yeah, so we're gonna be going over like some indoctrination in general. Like I think like a lot of people claim they're against indoctrination, but they seem to be okay with certain kinds or just against other kinds. But I think the big issue kind of want to tackle is how people really feel about trans people. And just to be clear, I'm friendly with Chris. I like Chris, so I'm not, I'm going to try and keep this civil as possible, and we'll hopefully still be friendly after this. But it's kind of hoping to have like just a real eye-opening conversation, just to have a real honest conversation. And I will bring on Ava now because she obviously has an expertise in this field that I certainly do not have. So Ava, thank you for joining me.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I don't have any more expertise than you do.
Oh, experience, I guess I should say. Like,
Oh, no, I have that.
Yeah, just to be clear, I went back and forth about I wanted Ava to do this with me, but also I don't want to. I'm sure Ava gets sick of being asked to do trans things because she's, like I said, so much more than that. Doesn't want to be just known as that. But I thought it was kind of important. It's interesting because I think there's something going on in the Dabbleverse and in the world actually where people don't realize they're not. I don't think they're hateful people, but I don't think they realize they have this bias that they have. I think they think that they're okay with things that they're not okay with in stuff like that. So I figure we'll go over that. Like I've actually seen Chris be nothing but nice to the trans people in the Dabbleverse, but some of the things he said and the chat said, it was a little discouraging, I guess would be the word. Disappointing. I don't know. Like I said, I feel like he's a good guy. It's kind of like I think the example I used when I was talking with Ava is like, I have a black friend, or it's like I think people are fine with the trans people they know, but then when they just start thinking about it as an overarching thing or just as a general group, they start to have this like bias or I don't even know the word I'm trying to think of. Because I don't want to say like hate. They just have this I don't even know, uncomfortableness, this prejudice. Maybe prejudice is the word I want, that they don't even realize they have. So anyway, I'll bring up Chris's video so we can start watching. I moved it forward of almost about 10 minutes to when he starts talking about the material that we're going to go over today. So do my stuttering John. John showed us the way. All right. All right. So anyway, Chris,
I was on his show for like 5 seconds, and even that was clipped and just being misinterpreted.
A John show?
Yeah, but go ahead.
Jesus.
I didn't do anything. Okay.
Yeah, actually, I think I saw you. I must have seen you for like the 5 seconds you were on. Yeah, I had him on and he was talking about Ashley, I think, being on Dabble Point or whatever it was. Yeah. So Chris, if you watch this later, I will put this in the description. So if anyone wants to check out his show, it looks like he has a regular show. Like I said, he sounds like he usually has a female co-host. She just wasn't there for this one, and it's called Organized Chaos. So
are you having him come here on this show?
No, he's actually live right now on. I think he's on Bobby Nick's show right now. I told him. I told him we were going to do this or whatever. I told him ahead of time. So yeah, he knows it's happening. So, but I just didn't want to be like a blindside him or anything. But hey, Kahuna, good to see you. But yeah, I'm gonna try and be me. I'm gonna try and talk about it oh, there's Chris. Hey, buddy. Are you still on with Bobby? If you're around later and you want to come on or whatever, this whole thing's not going to be on you. This part is, and then we're going to go over another video.
Yeah, come on in.
But yeah, if you want to come on, absolutely. We're going to go over this other video. I forget the name of the YouTuber because I got a video of some other YouTuber covering this other YouTuber. But yeah. But anyway, we will start off right here, and I think this beginning part is going to be on the Netflix situation that happened last week. So here we go.
So if you look up Netflix on here on Twitter, you're going to see cancel, cancel, cancel this shit. Yes. And I just looked up the numbers, and it is true. In the past 2 weeks, Netflix has lost $15 billion. Isn't that insane? And it's not just the Babysitters Club that they're doing it. They got some other show on there. Yep. $15 billion freaking dollars. My
For what
God.
show? For what
What
show?
the hell, people? Jesus H.
I think he's saying a bunch of people supposedly canceled Netflix, so I think maybe like 15 billion in memberships. Maybe I don't know, it seems like
Because
a lot to me.
Because of Paranormal Park.
Yeah, is that the other one? I'm not even sure about the other one. Like I had only heard of the Babysitters Club until I watched this. I think that was the big one, but maybe this was going around too. I don't know. I'm not in the right wing stratosphere here, so I'm not sure if that's what they were boycotting over. I know it was the Babysitters Club, and then I learned about this second show while I was watching Chris.
Christ. So, yeah, that's happening. There we go.
It's not the park. It's me. I'm trans, Norma, and everyone at school knows, and everyone at home knows, and being here, it's like a whole new place. I can just be Barney, and I can choose if and when I tell people.
Oh my God.
I've never been happier, and that's saying something when I spent today chased by terrifying zombie mascots. Pugsley reminded me how important it is to live your life without apology. So I think I gotta give living here a shot, don't you?
Hey.
You don't need my permission.
Yes, we're
I just
live.
want Courtney as a roommate.
God damn it, buddy.
We'll be the best of friends.
So, yes, they've gone
It's
woke
not
on
the
us.
park. It's me. I'm trans, Norma, and everyone at school.
Who gives a shit? All right.
Well,
No,
I mean, right, he gives a shit because this show was canceled in 2022 after modest viewership based on a Netflix strategy to stop skewing towards younger audiences and more towards adults and high drama content. So that was 3 years ago.
And without jumping the gun, I will jump the gun. When we're gonna get to the Babysitters Club next, that was also canceled, correct?
Babysitters Club was canceled in
Yeah.
2022, Paranormal in 2023.
3. Okay.
So they're both have been gone for over 2
Canceled.
years. And he's
Hey,
referencing,
Stormy.
and he's talking about how he just checked their numbers and they're down right now. So
Yeah,
if they're down right now, it's because a bunch of generated panic.
that's what I was gonna go. Like yeah, it's this. I was talking about this the other day with the Hassan Piker thing. What's going on, Vagina Wrinkle? Which, don't get me wrong, I think it might end up being true that Hassan's a fucking piece of shit. But
Falah. I've been up. That's
but I
just
mean,
such a disaster for him.
yes, but I mean, no matter if it ends up being true or not, it was generated panic. It's just I know people that know nothing about the show, and they're jumping all over him like he's slaughtering dogs. And don't get me wrong, if he's zapping the dog, I'm a big dog animal lover, so fuck him. But I'm just saying, this is how they generate this shit.
I'm just mad at him because as a fellow brown person, nonetheless a brown leftist, he should know that we are held to a gajillion times higher standard and you can't make mistakes. Like,
Yeah,
you can't
right.
just turn out to be like, because there's like one of us versus a bunch of bigots.
Stormy, I'll be careful, but I've been told I'm obsessed, so I can't talk about him anymore.
About Hassan.
No, this guy Jib, who I'll tell you about him later. It's just ironic because he does shows on the same guy like all the time. And anyway, he's supposedly a political guy. He lied about me during like a debate. He claimed I like left the debate that I didn't leave. So I've been trying to get him to do the debate, and he just won't do it. So fuck him. But he's got like dick pics on the internet, on X or whatever. So she was kind of making a joke there.
Just to respond to that last thing that he said, it's
Yeah.
that that panic is peaking right now, and the show was canceled a couple of years ago, and it's all based on algorithm. It's not. There's no evidence that it was because of anything woke or that there's any woke dimension. This is a corporation that uses an algorithm.
Yes, we've talked about this. How like corporations aren't woke. They do whatever they think is going to make them the most money. Like Netflix is the same company who had employees threatening them and bitching about them. Had like because they had Dave Chappelle, his stand-ups had trans jokes in them, and Netflix, told those employees to get fucked. Dave Chappelle's stand-ups are going to stay on Netflix because that's what makes them money. So they're not woke. They will have anti-trans stuff if it thinks it makes them money. They'll have pro-trans, and then they even got rid of these two shows. So
if we were gonna attribute these types of decisions from a corporation, Netflix notoriously rejects any pro-trans pressure. It doesn't have it hasn't picked up David Cross's or Mark Maron's last 3 specials. They cater towards anti-woke. The CEO is anti-woke. So this is all bullshit.
Yeah, it's what's her face? I believe it was that dumb bitch from Lives of TikTok, right? I think she's the one that stumbled upon maybe like an old clip or old episode of something and it started the whole thing. Yeah, and it just snowballs. So this is why I've been guilty of this in the past too. This is why I'm extra careful when doing this sort of shit. It's very important to look more into it because shit just gets out there and then it just snowballs. You got to make sure it's like real and accurate and going on. Like I've done this shit too, where I think there's something going on that kind of feeds my narrative. I used to throw it out there and then oops, So yeah, when we do these type of shows, it's very careful to make sure you get the information right and what's going on metal. And unfortunately, I fucking hate that Lives a TikTok cunt. I've ripped her a asshole a million fucking times on the show. I brought up she caused a panic at the Boston Children's Hospital, claiming they were doing trans procedures on kids they were not doing. So then bomb threats got called in, and all the kids in the fucking cancer wards had to
children's lives were at risk.
Yes, and I told my oldest son had stage 4 neuroblastoma at 2 years old,
so
and that's the hospital that saved his life. And he's in his 20s now. Yeah.
Well, that doesn't matter right now because because of Babysitters Club.
Right. So that's what I mean. There's way more, and I want to be fair. Like I know we can't all care about everything, but it's like I think we have to care about more important things. Like some people focus on animals, some people focus on kids, some people, and that's fantastic. So everyone gets covered. But health, diseases, kids with cancer are much more important than a 3-year-old episode of the Babysitters Club that isn't even on anymore. So
yeah, that's what I was feeling like watching that. I was like, I'm just jealous of Chris that he has the emotional space to be outraged about that, considering most Americans are 2 payments behind on their car payments. Credit card debt is maxed out. Inflation is out of control. Yeah, electric bills in a lot of rural states is up like 10%, between 10 and 30%. But okay, there's a show. There's a show 3 years ago.
Mine's through the. That's why we always I think I've called myself an economic populist more than anything. That's what I try to focus on. I know you're very similar in those things. Obviously, there are social issues that we do fight for, but they're and it's easy for me to say because most of them don't. Most social issues don't cover me. But unfortunately, the reason we have to fight for them sometimes is because people get distracted. And I don't think people are bad. They just get distracted by these outrage fucking machines that just push this shit, and then people get outraged by it for some reason instead of really thinking about like what's important, what's actually important.
I'd like to explore that with you at some point in this.
Okay,
we don't necessarily have to do that, but I think there's something there. Yeah, I think there's also an underreported thing happening right now that I was nerding out with our city councilor about that I thought was local, where they're deregulating like utility shutoffs, and people all over this country like are dealing with cruel like shutoffs and having their payment plans rearranged. And it's a big thing that's happening that is not being reported in the corporate news.
So yeah, I'll even say God, I brought up briefly on the political show last night with I had helped out my niece, who she's in Rhode Island. I'm in Mass. Like I said, I've lived in both states. She's lived in both states, and she's young. She's on her own for like the first time or whatever. Supposedly, she just noticed she had a shut off notice from the gas company and thought they were going to shut her. She was afraid they were going to shut her off over the weekend because they said they could shut her off after a certain date, which was, I forget when it was, but it was during the week. So I was like, I don't think they shut you off on the weekend, hon. I'm not sure. So I tried Googling, and the reason I brought this up because AI, the way I worded it two different ways, and it was like first AI said they could shut it off, then it said they couldn't because of
they can. They're doing that now. They've been deregulated. They don't follow any of these previous like shut off rules. So the Duke Power monopoly in the like in the South, like in the Carolinas, the PGE monopoly here, they're just shutting people off and just collecting money and they're not accepting previous payment plans, and the prices are going up. But Babysitters Club did have a trans character. Okay, do you want to go on?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Stormy, I agree. So yeah, priorities. Some people don't know what they are. Right. Again,
we got a big problem here.
I like Chris. I just think some people and I get it too. He's making content. We all I made content out of Joey last night. I was, being half serious, half funny. So I feel so sometimes we're not all serious with things or whatever because we're making content.
Making content about someone that's hilarious like Joey is way different than
I know it's just
a marginalized group of people.
Yes,
and hate mongering them, but
fair enough. I think I was feeling I was feeling some guilt, so I was bringing it to the table right now.
I don't think we need to be as fair as we've been with them anymore. It doesn't matter.
All right, you could be right.
We go through some of these chats, some of these comments real quick. Hey y'all, there's Araya, Dixie. Doing good.
No vibe.
I need to make this a little bit bigger so I can read this stuff better.
I put it on 1 1/4 so it'll go through a little faster.
Okay. Is this live? Yes, we're live. We're doing it. We're having it. You know the routine, Bobby. God damn it. God damn it, Bobby. Oh, I'm selling propane and propane accessories. Live.
All right, I'll get to the rest of. I think there's another Netflix. Let me get to the Babysitters Club. Let's see.
You can let that sit. It's funny watching.
Oh yeah,
there's something interesting about the juxtaposition of this hatred and.
I saw another channel, a guy raccoon named Rory, and he loves Skittles for some reason. Got Mr. Goodnight Mister's in here. Dixie Kettles Fitness, Bobby. Oh my God. Uh-oh. Conservative Colin. Hi. If you want to know what's funny about this, Conservative Colin's blind, so I wave at him.
Oh.
I love that guy, man. Conservative Colin, man. How are you doing, my friend? He's like my little brother. Love that dude to death, man. He's something else, man. Oh my God. He joins us from over at the Bobby Nick side of things. Working at the same time per usual. Man, that sucks. Wow, we got the whole gang here.
You didn't think there was anything worth showing in the beginning of this when they were speaking when they were speaking about populism and their view of populism in government?
Chris?
No, actually, keep going. We're gonna end up not even having enough time for this. So go ahead.
Love picking on him. I swear to God, if I ever find out where he lives, I'll go in there and I'll rearrange his furniture. And I'll leave the toilet plunger in the toilet. He knows it too. Really? Did not know that. I don't even know who Keith and Corey is. Bobby's Electric Company. Don't know who that is. Oh, I do know. I don't know who it is, but I get the joke. Bobby's been getting harassed all week
long. Love you, chocolate.
By people. God.
I feel like I had all these notes. I feel like I made these notes just fact checking this stuff, but just having him read his chats after just spewing what he just did. I might as well. I don't even need to.
It's part of me is obviously I don't know how Chris, if he comes back at some point, he wants to say how he feels. I don't know how he personally feels. I can't, I can guess, but I can't attest to that. But that's why part of me thinks like you're almost like playing to an audience, like this is his audience or whatever. Because
he said it. I saw him on it. First of all, I've been on a show with him, with you, and he was absolutely sweet to me.
Right.
But I saw him go on another show around this time, and he's like got some I think he is like obsessed with this issue.
Yeah, I think it was the same night. I think he went on, might have been Jake's stream, and I think he played.
I was trying to watch a Hudson, and then he comes in with like trans people are like. I was like,
it was
whoa!
Just ironically,
Jake was like, all right, okay.
I only caught like 5 or 10 minutes of that stream, and that was the one part that I caught. So I was like, oh shit.
Yes, and we need your credit card number. We have $1,000 electric bill in your name that you need to pay. He doesn't though, and best thing I can tell you, Bobby, man, is block that shit. So anyway, back to the subject at hand. Glad to see y'all here. Like, share, and subscribe for God's sake. I want to get.
Yeah, like you know what? I never say that any episode. I'm amazed I end up with any likes at all because I never fucking say it. But sure.
No, you do it the real life. People they discover you and they love you.
All right. Well, maybe, but thanks.
I don't want to get monetized, but I want to be able to brag about it. So, anyway, $15 billion lost over this woke agenda.
Let me look that up.
He just made that up.
It's just absolutely.
There's no evidence of that.
Crazy as hell. I mean, this is the biggest loss they've had in a very long time. Trying to find more about it. Yeah, I remember they took a big hit back in 2020 with a show called Cuties. I don't know if anybody ever saw that or remembered that. Let me go. Let me go back over here. Do another screenshot. Oh, it's already up. I don't know if anybody ever got to see that, but that raised a lot of hell back in 2020.
Okay, so I think maybe the stock, they've lost 15 billion in market share. I am finding that. So
you know what happened in 2022?
What's that?
They lost 50 billion in market share, and it was linked to password chain crackdowns.
Interesting.
And inflation.
Yes. Oh, we have an inflation right now. That's right. Mm-hmm. Interesting. Matt, thank you for reminding me. I literally forgot for the 1,000th time. Ava, Wendy just wants to, she wants you to come on at some point. She just wants to make sure you get her link. So if you, just let me know at some point if you're getting her link.
Send me the link whenever.
Well, she says she sent them to you. She doesn't know if you're getting them or not. So just let me know if you're getting them. No. So you're not getting them? Okay. Yeah. I didn't think, like, yeah, I know how much you love Wendy. So, all right, we'll get to the.
I would take a day off work to go on her show.
All right, I will tell Wendy.
Is she like?
I don't know how she's sending them, to be honest. Matt, do you know how she's sending them? Let me know. Worst comes to worst, I'll tell. Wendy usually sends them to me. Every time she sends it to me, I'll just forward it to you, so you have it.
Yeah, dude. I would. Yeah, seriously, I would take work off to talk to Wendy anytime.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Hopefully she's messaging the right Ava. That's what I mean. Yeah, I don't know what's going on because I could see Ava missing one or two or whatever, but I know how much she loves Wendy, so I know she would come on if she could. So it might be.
Do we follow each other? Maybe that's why.
Yeah, maybe there's something going on there.
What's her Twitter?
I'm sorry. We'll figure this out. Yeah. I'll. Her Twitter is Fuck is her Twitter? Her is Wendy Pack. It's at Wendy Pack 15.
I'm gonna add that. Maybe it's one in one of the spam things. I don't ever look at those.
Gotcha.
But can we just establish that the Babysitters Club is barely a rounding error on their balance sheet? A 50 billion stock crash is, to me, like a great contrast. Remember, that has nothing to do with the little show. This was a character in the second season, and it's not. It's global economics. It's not a trans babysitting subplot. It's capitalism.
This is what I was trying to figure out, right? Because there can't be 15 billion worth of cancellations. It's not possible. You know what I mean? That's not possible.
When you look at
that's like a billion people. What, say like $15? I forget what I even pay for Netflix, but say it's 15, whatever. So it's like a billion people canceling their accounts. That's not happening. So yeah.
Well, I think if you want to analyze that, like outside of just wanting to make it about a show from 3 years ago,
Go.
If a $15 billion loss makes sense right now because people, if you look at the CEOs from fast food companies and stuff, like people aren't eating breakfast anymore at McDonald's. People can't. They're making financial decisions like that. You know,
Yes. Yeah.
like
There's a
DoorDash isn't getting orders, and they're having to give discounts and et cetera, et cetera. People are broke right now.
yes. There's a difference between losing market share and losing, subscribers and stuff like that. Yeah. It's a
Maybe
lot
we're
more.
wrong. Maybe we're wrong, and maybe season 2 of Babysitter's Club.
What's sad is like if that was the reason, like that's even more sad if that's the reason. Like, look, I'm gonna be honest. I've said this before. I don't. It takes a lot for me to boycott something because,
Because you're not
unfortunately,
retarded.
yeah, almost every corporation has some kind of unethical, either sweatshop labor, either they have a shitty stance on something. They always have greedy fucking billionaire CEOs. Like, there's not going to be a company that I like. The example I kind of use is like, I know Chick-fil-A is one that I think stuttering. A lot of people on the left will boycott. And it's easy for me because there is like no Chick-fil-A up here that I'm fucking aware of.
I was in South Carolina when that went down, and I had friends that would just go to the drive-thru and just park and not move their car.
And like I said, again, it happens to both. But me, I actually like the Chick-fil-A sauce. I buy it in the supermarket sometimes. I'm like, I like it. I'm not gonna not eat it because of these fucking assholes.
I feel like that was like, did you hear the audio of Bill Burr on Conan's live show that he did? Like,
Yes.
I think that's one of the strong. I think it was one of the points he made that kind of made me zoom out of the whole thing, where it's just like the same people that are protesting are the same people that like will buy a sweatshop labor like built like MacBook and sweatshop labor everywhere else.
Right. That's what my wife always. I love my wife obviously to death, but she always wants to boycott this and boycott that, and I'm like, it's like boycott this and then let's subscribe to that. I'm like, well, they got sweatshop labor or they got this. It's like it's all terrible. It's all terrible. So.
But I think we have to assess those as a culture case by case, and unfortunately, there's no. There's times where it matters and times where it don't. And we just have to fight that out in the culture.
Yes.
So anyway, that's on Netflix. Anybody can find this shit and see what the big deal is. I'm really upset with No Babysitters Club. I have a son, but I know I got a lot of friends that have daughters, and they don't need to be watching that shit. And let me get something straight with everybody here.
Why? This is a question. If you were here, Chris, this is a question I would ask. Like, what's the harm in one scene? Go, Ava. Yeah.
Can I clarify that the cuties that he was talking about?
Oh, yes.
Right there, that's from 2020.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure everyone understands that.
Here's the other thing. Before I get back to it. Also, there's always going to be things that people don't. That's I don't know. It almost reminds me of this is the shit George Carlin fought against. Like if you don't like it, turn the dial. If you don't like it, don't watch it. Like there's plenty of shit I fucking hate. I mean, there's shit on fucking slavery on Netflix. Isn't slavery bad? Isn't rape bad? You know what I mean? There's fucking rape in movies. There's are we gonna ban those too?
All this. I don't know how your experience is as we get older, where you really recognize that there's 35% of just human nature. 35% of people are always going to behave like that, and they behaved like this when Black people were being integrated. They behaved like this when women were giving rights. They behaved like this with gay people. They behave like this with brown people. They're just always this. Their brain just has to go towards aggrievement and scapegoating, and like they'll vote for anyone that'll give them that permission structure, and there's nothing we'll ever be able to do about it. But the problem is when there's that 10%, 15% in between, and I think there was a check on that about the trans issue where it's like that's where rational people can like talk these things out and like have bipartisan issue. This shouldn't even be a political issue anyway, because it's just as fair for a Democrat to have questions about trans people as it is for a Republican. But unfortunately, it's a political issue because we have a uniparty system as far as the corporate oligarchy. But yeah, 35% of people are just, no matter what, they're just going to find this, just going to shit on those people, make their lives miserable because they need a punching bag, because that's how they go through life.
So, what's up, Brent? Let me ask you something. It's something I try and figure out. Like, do you think that these people really are outraged by this stuff, or do you think they just project like they're outraged by it, like faux outrage? Like, I believe there is such a thing as faux outrage, where they just pretend to be outraged at certain things. I can never figure out if this is one of those things, or if they really get upset over this. I don't know.
I think that's like why tackling these types of issues now is it, like, some people just throw their hands up in the air, and it's because the reason that people like him are constantly like, I don't know anything, like, I didn't know any of this until I knew that we were talking about it.
Yes.
Like, I don't, because I'm not, like, the algorithm recognizes that I'm not looking for this.
Right.
And so someone like him, it's just the fact that he knows about this is because, like, the algorithm's like, oh, you wanted to just shit on trans people. It's because people, they get locked in on it, so they just fall into that. You know what I mean? So they're just getting fed that. I'm sure that it's outrageous to them. It's also fair to be concerned about that if you're just being exposed to that. Like, if you just hear, like, trans people, and because this issue is being fed to him through that algorithm, which is saying, look at what they're doing to your kids. And so he's having a human reaction, which is fair. So you can't question if he is outraged. But the problem is that it's not in scale with society, and it makes people lose focus. I mean, this is like what all of those tropes are about, how divide and conquer, and all those things, etc. It's just like, this is that this year. It's like, let's just focus on these, like, marginal amount of people and make it look like they're coming for your kids. This is what they did about gay people, like I was saying a second ago. This is what they always do about things, because while they're looting us. So he's having I believe he's outraged. I think he's not. I don't feel that he's assessing this in scale with the priorities that we should have in this country. Outside of, if you're a Democrat or Republican, they're like serious problems, and I don't believe this is one of them.
No, you brought up fantastic points. I'm actually glad you brought that up. It's something I thought of earlier and totally forgot till just now. Is yes, the algorithm. It's my mother-in-law is one of these, like, MAGA people down in South Carolina, and the shit she, like, tells my wife and stuff, and she can't believe that we don't know what she's saying, because she thinks that we all get fed the same shit. She's a boomer. She doesn't understand the algorithm is just feeding you all this shit, and we're not getting it. So he's disproportionately getting this information.
There's such a cathartic dichotomy of this, like a few years ago with Jordan Peterson, where he's like, I want all my supporters to Google woman with a bra. And because his algorithm was obsessed with, like, finding, like, curvy women to, like, make these points or whatever, that his point was supposed to be that it's just going to show girls in bikinis is just going to show a bunch of fat black bitches. And and then his supporters started to do that, but then, like, someone debunked it, and they did it without through, like, a private window or something, and they're like, no, you're seeing that because you keep wanting to see that.
Yes. Oh my
You know
God.
what I mean?
Right. Yeah. And Chris, when you do see this, the other something else I want to bring up is the main point I try making on dabbling in politics is that they try and get us to fight. The powerful people try and get us to fight left versus right all the time, and it's always over issues that are so unimportant or less important than the economic issues that are just killing us all right now. So, to me, this is one of those issues. This is something they want you to be outraged over, and they want people like Ava and I to fight on the other side of the issue, and then so we argue. And granted, we're falling into the trap because you made a video and now I'm making a video on it. But that's what they want. They want us to fight over this stuff. They want us to fight over Netflix and the Babysitters Club. They don't want us to fight over, healthcare, fucking low wages, fucking high rent, like high fucking utilities, all that shit.
Can I add one thing that
Yeah,
I think?
absolutely.
I agree with everything you said. I do think that it's important to say that it is an important issue in that people are being exposed, like we are as a society wrestling with people under the age of 18 receiving gender affirming care. And so it is, I understand if you have a child that this is an important issue for you to want to learn about.
Yep.
And so that is fair. I don't think that's what's going on here. This is to me like a little bit more in the outrage area. But in a perfect world, at a certain point, if we want to be adults and have this conversation in this society, then first it will take recognizing that there is a correction. There was a bunch of fucking woke people before 2020 and through 2022 that were getting out of hand with this trans stuff, and we're not letting people have a conversation about it, and they're policing speech in that. And the culture responded. This is what happens every decade with whatever we deal with. And there has been a correction by the Democratic Party, which I mean you aren't fans of, but unfortunately this is a political issue because we have two choices. This shouldn't be a political issue. This should be a cultural issue. Nonetheless, there's been a correction. You have to acknowledge that there's not a bunch of trans people going on CNN like saying that they should be able to have trans surgeries when they're 8. It's just not happening. There's been a moderation. The problem is that on the other side of the aisle, there's no moderation to it. So the people that are pro-trans have moderated on this stance and are ready to have an adult conversation about bathrooms, about all these things. The problem is that the other side of it have gone out their ass on it and are now just hallucinating trans boogeymen for everything that's wrong in society. And so how are we supposed to actually resolve this? So if you really care about whether a trans person goes to whatever bathroom or sports or any of these things, your starting line cannot be just going full extremist after there's an obvious moderation. That's honestly, if you look at the last election, people are pulling up clips from Kamala Harris, just like he's pulling up clips from 2020, but nobody was running on trans issues because of that moderation. So if you want to be an adult and solve these problems, trans people are there for it and the other party is there for it. But if you're just going to keep hallucinating that every school shooter is a trans person, even though they're not, and make up all these things because that's what you need some kind of scapegoat, then fuck you.
The other thing I'll point out is, and very well said. The other thing I'll say is, I'll speak for me. I think Ava agrees, but I'm not going to speak for her. I'm guessing the majority of trans people are not the trans people that get all the spotlight are the extreme ones. Are the, like, I don't know the person's name, but there's a trans female who I see all the time on X, and their whole thing is they go to restaurants, they get misgendered, and then they like throw a fit and leave. And that's looking for that. That's the content. And instead of saying "excuse me," blah blah blah. So I believe the majority of trans people are more like Ava. It's just, hey, let's be rational. We'll compromise on this, that, and this. Just leave it. Like, for the trans people have been around for the longest fucking time.
They've been around always. They've always been around.
Like, it seemed, I remember this seemed to blow up out of nowhere, like in North Carolina with some bathroom law, whatever, some years ago. Like, and I was like, I'm guessing I've been going to the bathroom with trans people my whole life. You don't notice, you don't care. Or if you do notice, you still don't care. You go in the bathroom and you're leaving.
Yeah, I mean, that's the other part of it. Like, people are always like, it's like, what bathroom? It's like, I don't find myself constantly in this. I live in a society here that is in no way the way it is represented out there. Like, in terms of like the culture, like, I'm of Pakistani descent and I'm a trans woman. If you can deal with that, there's no part of my day where that's being litigated.
Right.
I just go to the store, and honestly, the only time I ever think about it is like when people like this just bum me out because they're like, oh, that's right, these people think, but like, not in my real. So there's a society here that just doesn't obsess over this, and it's not a problem. There's no bathroom dilemmas here. It's just there's gender neutral bathrooms, and so whatever. But I'm also not going to public bathrooms all the time.
Right.
Like,
Nobody likes public bathrooms. That's the point I
yeah.
always bring up.
I
I
went to
try to
public bathroom,
avoid
like-
fucking public bathrooms. Yeah.
Yes. And it's
Yeah.
like anyone, like even if you're not trans, it's like a lot of times there's a third bathroom that's like a single, and everyone wants
Yes.
that. So just do that. Like, but they don't
Yeah.
want that. They would just want to like abuse trans people.
Yeah.
And at a
There's
certain point, then we have to like. To me, I've felt this from just being in the Dabbleverse and this experience. You can tell me to shut up whenever.
no.
I felt this from like you met. I've known you since the beginning of me being in the Dabbleverse, and I came into this just wanting to like express how like moderate I am about these issues, and just like really just like giving them so much to work with that like a lot of people have used to abuse me to be like, well, you said that you're mentally ill, whatever, and they just missed the point. You know what I mean? No one has ever taken any of those concessions I've made in good faith. And the other experience I've had is that I've seen people like analyze just fights I've had with people, and they just don't even compute that I'm a human being that is being like abused like that on a trans level, because I don't care. I just fight,
Yeah.
But when I watch them assessing it, they don't
Yeah.
even understand that I'm responding to something because they just don't look at me like a human. It's like, so it's like, that's something I've just had to accept.
Yeah. Since you brought that up, I'll say this real quick, then I'll get back to it. Like, it kind of probably goes unnoticed by a lot of people, or not unnoticed, but you just something you don't think about. But people like Ava and Annie, and even me to a lesser extent, like the Dabbleverse is mostly right, at least conservative, leaning right, whatever. And when you're one of the very few trans people, when you're one of the few progressives or whatever in the Dabbleverse, you have to be like self-deprecating. You have to, like you have to be willing to like have a good sense of humor about things, whatever. And I do, Ava does, Annie does, or whatever. And and it's fine, but sometimes it's like when you do try, when every so often you're not that you're not real. I mean, I do have I don't take this shit seriously, so I am self-deprecating and have a good sense of humor about shit. But when I do, like, when I did a live stream covering Kumia and his racist bullshit, I lost like 4 subscribers. Like that, I may lose subscribers here. Ava, has to fight for shit too. I'm sure Annie does too, and it's tough, but it's a weird dichotomy where you have to, um oh, Ava's one of the good ones because you can call her a dude, or you can say she's mentally, what I mean, and that kind of sucks that's how it is. It's I don't know. I'm not explaining it well. I'm just saying, like, you
No,
shouldn't.
you
No
are.
one, the other people in the Dabbleverse don't have to do that sort of shit. They don't have anything to like lose or whatever. Um, I don't know. Like we're doing this, we may lose whatever. We may lose supporters or whatever. Like even this video, I'm friends with Chris, but and I hope to be friends with him after this. I actually hope this leads to a conversation or
It won't.
some changes in some things. So
I mean,
thank
it
you.
won't. It won't. And I'm not
It
even
might not.
like. I mean, you're saying that, but like, I'm not even saying that it sucks because I knew what I was getting into. And, like, I made a decision instead of like getting into streaming in the politics world, which is where I spend most of my time. I
Yeah.
was like, no, let me just talk to these people, and just feel them out because I don't want to live in a bubble. But what I've concluded is that, I mean, they are truly hateful towards trans
Right.
people. Like, and honestly, I feel bad for like white trans women because like growing up in the South, like it was just ingrained in me. It was like, you are a subhuman mutant that every time you're in public, if you're at a bar or something, someone is going to try to knock you down a peg and call you a terrorist freak. And so I went through all that, and it takes a long time to build the confidence to be like, fuck it, I'm brown. And so I got to go through that. So by the time I came out, it was like, no one can hurt my feelings about anything. But there's anyone that didn't go through that for something else when they're younger, like I can't imagine how hard it is for them.
I'm sure. Oh, let me say this on the other side. I do really appreciate the rest of you guys that do give me, like that do give me a chance and do give Ava a chance and all that stuff. Like Because there are people in the Devilverse that just don't. They just refuse. Like, oh, you're trans. I fucking hate you. And that's harder for me. Okay, you're a they call me a liberal brick thrower or whatever, communist shit. That's not true, but whatever it is, and they'll hate me, and it is what it is. But trying to do a political show in the Dabbleverse is a battle to begin with. So might as
I
well
feel like
throw
that's a separate conversation I
Yeah.
want to have with you, because I feel like I think we should both stop like conceding anything as representatives of the left, because none of them respect that or take it in or just appreciate it. They just use it against you. And so I think maybe the lesson is to just actually fight harder and not even give in to any of that shit, because fuck them at a certain point.
Thank you, Metal. You actually you are one of the good ones, my friend. All right.
I'll be
I
right back.
have
1
no-
second.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Problem with people being gay. More power to you. That's the path you choose, but it's not for me. And man, I understand it. I guess I never will. I don't hate on people for it. I even knew a couple that had adopted a kid, and they're doing things right though. I have no problem with that either, as long as you do things right. Don't try and indoctrinate kids. That's the biggest problem I have with all this. They're raising a little boy. They're raising him to be a boy, not a gay boy, just a regular boy. And last time I haven't talked to them in years. The last time I did, he was the homecoming queen. He was dating the homecoming queen, which worked out great for them. Do it right if you're going to do it. Yeah, right, Dixie. I'm not into it. Right, Colin? Quit trying to shove your agenda down our damn throats. Right, Colin?
All right. So I think I'll wait for
Who's shoving that crap down your throat right now?
perfect timing. Yeah, this is something, Chris. This is this. If you see this,
Who's
after,
turning your bedroom into my bedroom?
Yeah, I was gonna say this is something I always push back on, this shoving down the throats. I don't know what that means. If you're getting this stuff thrown in your face, it's because it's the algorithm and you're looking for it.
But it's also aggrievement too, because there's that persecution complex. Because there's people that people cope with the struggles of life in different ways. They either turn it inward or outward. And the easiest thing you can do when life is hard, or when there's like a middle area, but then there's people where life is really hard, or there's people that just have no problems. And then the two outer edges of that is that, oh, what can I just bitch about and be aggrieved about? And it's like, and it's just hallucinating that like a trans person is trying to go into your bedroom, and they're never consistent on it, because at first it's like, in the beginning of this, it was just like things with kids and things like that. But we all knew that it wasn't like that. And the second someone's like, no gender affirming care for anyone in this country, even if they're adults, it's not like conservative Colin's going to stand up for trans people,
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Yeah. Am I talking too much?
No. It's weird. I never got this. I don't know what that means. Like
It's aggrievement.
And it's
if you have an American flag avatar and your name is conservative Colin, your business is aggrievement. Like, who's trying to fuck with me? That's whether they are and they're not.
Yeah, this is the blind guy. I think he was waving at the beginning too. Yeah, like, all right. I'm just gonna give an example because Chris has done. Chris, I've been on streams with you where I don't remember her name. They jokingly call her Ping Pong. I think there's like an Asian woman. Sorry, not girl, woman. Who's kind of like a friends with benefit for you, and she doesn't speak English very well, so she'll come on stream. They'll get her to say things. It's funny, whatever. But you guys always talk about the sex you're having or whatever. Isn't that shoving that? If you think gay people are shoving their sex down your throat, isn't that shoving it down their throat? Like if there was a gay guy on and he had his partner on stream and they were doing the same things you guys were doing, you'd be like, oh, that's gross. Why are you shoving that down my throat? But then you guys are doing it back. Or is it just couples being couples? Like, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. I never got that. basically you're saying it's shoving it down their throats by just being who they are. I don't understand. They're not
And
asking you to watch them have sex or anything.
the thing I keep falling back on, and then you have to kind of be like, okay, you have to go further in depth than that.
Yeah.
Is the idea that it's like we all live in a society, right? Like,
Yeah.
we all just live here. If they don't approve of trans people, they don't like trans people, they don't like gay people or whatever. Okay, well, we have to live here. So either you want to, are we gonna execute them, or are we just gonna like figure this out? And if you can accept that all of us are humans and equal humans in terms of just our God-given rights, in terms of the Constitution, then I mean, I like, why can't then I can just sit here and say, I think it's fucking weird that y'all are indoctrinating people into believing in the Bible and like a talking
Yeah.
snake and like believing there's a literal devil and there's a heaven and a hell, which like it removes like the incentive for like an actual morality here on this earth, and it's just like into this eternal hellfire speak, or that the dinosaurs don't exist. Like, there's such a contradiction when you get into the science about things, like trying to question, like, it's not natural about trans, or like that's not what the science says, and it's just like, well, what do you got? Like, when did you care like about the science if you're following the Bible? And like and we all just accept that, hey, there's just going to be people that are going to believe that, and quite frankly, the consequences of that indoctrination leads people to accept things like a genocide across the country because they believe that the Jews have to go take over Palestine, and then they're going to go convert them, and then blah blah blah, and, blah, blah, and it's like, what has more consequences, like that indoctrination, or like less than 1% of the population having gender affirming care?
100%. Like I don't think we're gonna get to it at this point, but like I said, I had a second video where they go over the
Sorry.
no, me too. We're both talking when we get together, Ava. We don't shut up. I knew this would happen. We talk and talk. Because I'm so used to talking with conservatives that it's almost refreshing every so often to talk to someone who's like-minded, like, or similar thoughts as myself. But yeah, religion is by definition fucking indoctrination, and we grew up in a country where when you go to school every morning, you pledge allegiance to your fucking your flag and your country. Like, that's indoctrination. Like, there's tons of it all over the place that conservatives are fine with and even encourage. It's just whatever this is. But
Yeah,
anyway,
and I've been alive long enough to see all these people like that are Trump supporters now, like try to like created a distinction between them and George W. Bush and like all the neocons and all that.
Yeah.
But if once Trump is gone, and let someone just like George W. Bush, if they did that, if they came and they're like, we're gonna go blow up the Syrians and the Iraqis, they'd all be right back in there. It's the same people. They're just whoever will give them their agreement, and
Yeah.
they'll use religion to do it. They'll use indoctrinated patriotism, which and I was educated in South Carolina schools. It took me getting out of South Carolina to like actually understand imperialism and like what the impacts are of our foreign policy, and you know what I mean. And it's just like I've accepted that, and honestly dealt with the blowback of that by just getting beaten up or being harassed for just being brown because of your religion and the way and the places that it takes that. And I would say the same thing if I were in a different religion in a different country. But yeah, let's no one is looking at anything when they talk about trans issues in scale with real tangible things and
Right.
fatalities and
Yes.
genocides.
All of it. And Neil, thank you for this comment. I agree 100%. Usually when people say shoving it down their throat, they just mean existing at all bothers them. That's
Yeah.
one of the points we're trying to cover is people continue to say that they have no problem with trans people or no problems with gay people or this and that, and then they'll tell you why they have a problem. So it's they seem, a lot of them, like Chris, seem to be very like very sweet to Ava, very nice to like. That's why I think there's hope, because they seem on a one-on-one basis. It's just when they generalize,
There's no hope.
they start to lose the plot. All right, you could be right. I'm trying to be optimistic. But
Well, no, there's hope in that, in the point I was making earlier about Black liberation and gay rights. It all starts with they're indoctrinating our kids to accept,
Yeah.
and but that's kind of why I was in the beginning. I was setting it up as like there's 35% of the country that's just always going to be like that. So there's hope in that we will win this, and then those be the next thing that they're mad about. But we're not changing his mind. Is what I'm saying right now. Like we just have to win. It has to be a battle of ideas because they cannot. They can't. They're almost like drug addicts. It's like they can't lose that fix of aggrievement and scapegoating.
Yeah.
So we just have to win in terms of policy.
I totally forgot. I want to touch on something you said while you were away. Like, he brought up a gay couple who adopted a kid, and he said they're raising him the right way. It's not a gay boy, a trans boy, it's just a little boy. And I think the best way to raise a kid is you raise the kid, you love it, and you take care of it, all its fucking needs, and you let the child be itself. If that child's straight, that child's straight. If that child's gay, that child's gay. If that child's trans, that child's trans. That's the right way. It's not. I agree. You shouldn't try to force your kid. If your kid isn't straight, you shouldn't force your kid to be straight. And if your kid is straight, you shouldn't force them to be gay and all that stuff. So, it just seems like the right way to them is straight, no matter what.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and they were in that little riff. They were like equating like just not like respecting rights for gay people, as grooming.
Yeah. We have a question. It says, is a large portion of the modern trans movement more of a...
Can I say one more thing about that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because when, like, I think they had said like that they don't hate gay people, but like that kids shouldn't be exposed to it, and framing it as like protecting innocence. But it's just like, to me, that's like not tolerance. It's like a form of containment. It's the same logic that like people used to use like with women. They said they could work as long as it didn't upset men. And they, and it's like they fear a gay character, but then shrug at like gas bills being up 13%, because like fear is free, but fixing like an inequality costs money.
Yes, which they don't want to do. Obviously, Ava would be better answering this than me. My thing is, I don't think it's a fad. The only place I think I do worry, and I could be wrong, is Hollywood people seem to do have a larger percentage of trans kids. So I don't know if some of them are fucking pushing it. I don't know. But other than that, no, I just think it's more accepted now or more known. So maybe it's, like the old thing, like, left-handed people just didn't suddenly spurt up when all of a sudden it wasn't deemed like fucking satanic or illegal or whatever to be fucking left-handed. So I don't know.
I feel like that's like, there's like fun questions that I wish, or like discussions we could be having, because I'm a neo-Freudian, and like to me, I want to like explore like those dimensions of like childhood development and how they, and like in the sense that like there's people that are born gay and born trans, but I am interested in like those developmental years and what can affect humans to be to explore with gender, because like that's what's like different about humans than most other animals, is that like because we have a human consciousness, it complicates all of these other things that you could just attribute to biology. Like it's what makes us vote against our own interests, and what makes us like kill ourselves and things like that. But like yeah, those are the fun conversations I wish we could have about trans issues, but like we don't get to have those right now.
No. Mrs. Thompson.
But the reason I said that is because maybe there's something to the types of people that live in Hollywood and the way that they raise their children at a younger age, and like seeing how that could affect their sexuality growing up.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah, Hollywood's a whole different fucking animal. People spend so much time worried about what's in everyone's pants. We're losing our sense of humanity. I agree. And what's important and all that stuff. Yeah.
I never like say it, but like I guess since we're just having this conversation right now, I will like, if anyone's watching this and just trying to understand like being a trans person in the Dabbleverse, like, and I'm responding to their comment, it is honestly weird how much people think about my genitalia. And because there's just people I know that are on these chats that all throughout every time, it's been months and months, it's the same, and they're just like, did you sit down when you peed? And then it's just they just think about your genitalia, and it's weird. It's
Yes.
really weird. I understand that you all can think it's weird that I'm trans. That's fine. I'm just saying it's also weird that there are these like straight bully guys that are like just imagining my genitalia every time I'm gonna stream or the whole stream. Like the same person just constantly talking about my genitalia. It's weird.
Quit trying to shove your agenda down our damn throats. Now, yeah, there's a lot of them that are Republican. And I like, if you go back, you know, that's another hot subject is Charlie Kirk. And if you go back, one of them, he went off on one guy that asked him a question about this same topic. And he's like, you know, you're against the gays, and, you know, you don't support Trump. You're not MAGA. You're not nothing. Because he does. He had a small place in his heart for these people too. And you know, they're part of the cause. So
is this guy like coked up?
You know, gotta give him some credit. But he went off on the guy over.
No, he has. I don't know what it is. He has something.
Okay.
Yeah, that he has some kind of disorder. I don't know what is the right word.
A loving
disease.
cocaine too much disorder.
No, that makes it's like I think it's a nerve thing or something like that.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah, no, it's a real thing. Yeah, it's a medical thing. Yeah.
But on to business. I did a thing a few years ago along the same lines.
I jerked off a trans broad.
How you doing, buddy? Glad to see you here. Thanks for joining the Cool Kids Club here. Like, share, and subscribe, people. I did a deal a few years ago before I started streaming. And so help me God, I would not be surprised if this channel gets taken down tonight. But I don't care. We're doing it. We're having it all at the same time, as Bobby says. And if it gets taken down, I'm just going to start another platform, another account, and keep going. These days, it is so easy for parents just hand off an electronic device to their kids. And you really need to look at stuff. And what we're getting ready to dive into tonight is a certain platform for kids. And you happen to be on part of it right now. Yes, YouTube Kids. You might think it's harmless, but anytime you go into one of these sites, they all look harmless, but you got to do a deep dive into it. You know, if there's a search bar up there, type in stuff. And you'll be surprised at what you might find. Let's do another screen share into YouTube Kids. Hate to be the bearer of bad news, but here it is. This is YouTube Kids. And I'm going to pick on this one site mainly. It's called Queer Kids Stuff. And as you see, her mascot is this little teddy bear. So this is aimed at children pre-K and kindergarten.
I actually just want to stop it there before we get going. So as someone that has 3 kids, pre-K and kindergarten, they can't spell, they can't type. They're not going to go on YouTube and type anything in and accidentally find anything. Like that was my first thought when this came out. Like I get what
Don't
he's
let
saying.
that get in the way of Chris's riff.
So, and also if you're a decent parent, you're not, you know what your kids are. Obviously, you can't watch your kids 24/7, but if they are 5 years old or 4 years old, you're gonna be in the same room with them 99% of the time. You're gonna be listening to what they're watching, whatever. But you have to set it up for them. I used to have to set up what my kids are watching at that age, so they're not gonna stumble on anything like this on accident. It's not happening.
Me and my teddy, we're friends for life. All of us together is such a delight. Queer kid stuff.
Teddy, you had a really good question
So,
yesterday. What was it again?
I don't want to get knocked down or anything. Who knows? I don't care. We're still going to do this. People need to know the goddamn truth, what's out there. Yes. Holy fuck. Oh, you haven't even. Yes, this is indoctrination right here. Straight up. Here's their video channel. Rainbow Story Time, Happy Pride Month, drag queen lip syncing. I'm sorry, if I was a little kid, this would terrify the living shit out of me right here.
It's okay to be gay. We are different in many ways. Doesn't matter if you're a boy, girl, or somewhere in between. We all are part of one big family. Gay means happy. Queer kid stuff. You are enough here at Queer Kid Stuff.
What happened, Chris?
Is that a Confederate flag?
I was gonna say that.
Just for clarity, Queer Kids is a tiny YouTube channel that was created by an educator between 2016 and 2020. It wasn't part of a YouTube Kids curated lineup. It's not auto-played in classrooms. It was just a side project filmed in a bedroom using puppets to teach people about fairness, identity, and empathy. Talking about what does gay mean. The videos were opt-in. You had to click them. The average viewers were parents watching that with their kids. Parents made that decision. And yet, Mr. Confederate flag here is bringing it up 5 years later.
So I literally just thought of something, one of my kids was 5 years old in 2016. So they were 5 when this came out, 6, 7. They never found this. They never, to me, this is something that it's created. If you have a child that you think maybe trans or gay or whatever, you can watch this with your child. Other than that, no one's gonna watch it. It's very like a niche thing for a certain group of people. That's all it is.
I think that there's like a missed opportunity here too about the way that we're assessing the algorithm and privacy with apps in terms of children, because they violate a lot of privacy laws. The algorithms target minors with gambling sites, junk food promos, and influencer ads that are disguised as friendship that lead them into these weird AI friendships. The whole YouTube's recommendation engine is to radicalization pipelines that lead to misogyny and extremist content, not gender pronouns.
Right. What's up, 2 joints? Thanks for being here, my friend. The other thing I want to say is, again, having kids that age, there are asshole YouTubers that literally will make videos out of they'll have stuffed animals. I remember my son used to stumble up. He was a big Nintendo kid, big into fucking Mario and Luigi and all that, Yoshi. And there were people that would make these fucking videos using those plushies, but then they would swear and it'd be all adult content, but they would deliberately put it's for kids. So kids would find it and hear about Mario saying he wants to fuck the princess and all this stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe I worry about that stuff instead,
Yeah. I mean, like when we talk exactly, it's like when we talk about corrupting with children, it's like this is how the cultural scapegoats work. Instead of fixing the broken society, wages, housing, healthcare, education, they manufacture villains that you can yell at for free. It used to be comic books, video games, rap lyrics. Now it's gender identity, and it's not new. It's just the latest thing.
Right. And as far as Queer Kid stuff, Chris, I wouldn't watch it either, man. It's not for me. It's not for you. So,
and when they say they're trying to protect children, and it's which children are we protecting? Because the same people crying about those queer puppets are voting to cut school lunches, block healthcare, and ignore the parents that are working 3 jobs to stay afloat. So kids don't need protection from pronouns. They need protection from poverty.
Yes. Yeah. That's why we're, when we talk about the policies we're into, it's usually into, free school lunch, higher wages, all this stuff that will actually help families.
That
it
will protect the children.
Right. It would be great if both parents didn't have to work, anymore, or like if one parent could be home with the child at all times or whatever, that would be great for the family. But unfortunately, people can't afford to do that. So
Yeah, because Ronald Reagan.
yeah, trickle down. Yeah,
Yep.
didn't work. Come back to me, Chris.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm back. Sorry about that. Hit the wrong damn button. Hope you guys are all still with me here.
What
Back
the
over to
fuck?
comments. And I'm so
Acting.
sorry. This makes me sick. Makes me really fucking sick to be showing this stuff to you. But people need to know what's out there.
The Lord will be here
Start
soon.
the wood
Okay,
chipper. I
yeah,
agree.
there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. That's
Like I said
all right. That's
before,
indoctrination
I don't
too.
care if you're gay.
And I like Mandy.
I don't have a problem with people being gay. Well, and what I have a problem with is when it's being forced on little kids. Honestly, I don't know if Kyoto's gay or not. I don't care. Kyoto is my friend. And if he chooses to be gay, well, I'm sorry, that's his choice. And I'll defend his choice because he's my friend.
Oh, it's almost like all this
He's
is
a friend of a lot of
arbitrary.
others on here, such as Bob.
Right. I don't know what this forced is either. Like I remember going to school and literally you had to dance at gym class when like 6th grade or something, boys, girls, like, so that was forced on the gay kids to have to dance with, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't
It's
know.
like so.
It's so dumb. I don't even know why I'm even bringing that part up. It's just dumb.
No, like like after you turn 30, like every year, you kind of like look at your friends and like their trajectories and stuff. And the idea that this old man, like, just still hasn't like just figured out that like it's just when you meet a person and then you realize that this whole group that you've been hallucinating in your head isn't the boogeyman. Like you figured that out at a young age, and so the idea that he's making that distinction while still attacking them as a group.
Mrs. Thompson's elbow up says we can protect our children from the things we didn't grow up with, but we are preparing them for their world. Teaching empathy is most important. Yeah, I don't get why empathy is a bad thing all of a sudden, or it's woke or whatever. It's
Yeah, let's talk about that. Like in this society, like because we're beyond all the subtext. It used to be subtext, but it's like if you're empathetic, it's like you're woke.
Yeah.
Like, and I feel like even now you just put the definition of empathy and just show this to whoever's watching this, just to remind them that what that word means, because it's a triggering word.
Yeah, it's kind of like even when they try and talk about Antifa, that they and it's like being anti-fascist is a bad thing. Like they're admitting I don't know. It's fucking weird. Like all these words have been twisted around.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
Yep.
So, and I'm sorry, this shit is just absolutely horrifying. Let me bring this back up. There you go. I mean, if I was a little kid, that would just terrify the ever-loving shit out of me. Give Elsa a girlfriend. What the fuck? Learn about consent. I is for intersex. That's a good one. Let's try this shit.
Hey there, I'm Lindsay.
And I'm Teddy.
Welcome to Queer Kid Stuff. Today we're talking about what it means to be
Notice along the bottom there, it says intersex on there.
intersex.
We all are part of one big family. Gay means happy. Queer Kid Stuff. You are enough here at Queer Kid Stuff.
Welcome to another episode in our series on the LGBTs. You ready, Teddy?
Ready.
Okay. Today
Right.
we're looking at the I in LGBTQIA. Okay.
I forgot to ask you, did he I was gonna ask you this before, does he do videos about policy and otherwise?
I'm not sure. He unfortunately I didn't I know he's done at least one other live since this with his co-host. I did not check it out yet.
What's the name of his channel? I'll pull it up. Real quick.
Organized Chaos is sorry, Organized Chaos is the name of the show. His channel is it just Chris Thompson? Let me see. Yeah, it's Chris Thompson with some weird symbols. That's not going to be easy. I don't know,
Okay.
maybe look up organized chaos or
All right.
something.
Epic demonologist gameplay. Swedish meatball 300 Iceman hijinks. Umbrella base cover. Hallelujah base cover. Wrestling intro. Gaming. Social distortion cover. White Snake slided in base cover. And then I guess just the trans thing.
That was interesting. Yeah, I know he used to play video games and was in the music, so I didn't know how long this show is around.
So he just
Interesting.
plays video games and then records covers of like White Snake playing bass and then shits at trans people. Okay.
Yeah. To be fair, I don't want to give away private DMs, but he sent this to me, I think, because he said something like, I know we disagree politically, but if you want to check this out, and and he was looking for some feedback, so I figured we'll do a live to be like easiest way to do the feedback. So
Okay. The feedback is this is a tiny YouTube channel created by an educator from 2016 to 2020. It's not a YouTube Kids curated lineup. An adult has to put this on if they want to show that to their children. And if you actually listen to the message of it, it's about empathy and fairness.
Yeah.
Because gay people and trans people exist, whether they like it or not.
And they're literally part of the message they're giving is that it's okay to be you. It's okay. That's who this is meant for, Chris. Like like I said, you're not supposed to like it. I'm not supposed to like it. I'll be straight with you, man. When I watched this whole video, you kept watching clip after clip, and so many of them, they're what they say, what's your pronouns, what do you identify as, whatever, and I don't care, but yeah, it starts to get like a little repetitive and shit like that. So it's not supposed to be for like people like us.
It's annoying. The point is to look at it in scale and look at all the other things that are being fed to children, and then put in consideration that this show stopped existing 5 years ago, and it was never pumped up by the algorithm, and kids don't just accidentally find it. And when you look at it in that scale, this is just a retarded thing to focus on.
Today we're looking at the I in LGBT.
Oh shit. That's right. I wanted to talk about that part. Dixie Cuddles Fitness. There's a war against straight people right now. Never mind that the LGB split from the TQ. There's no war on straight people.
There's an internal struggle that overweight, middle-aged, postmenopausal women have, where they just want to blame trans people because they're insecure about how ugly they are now. And then there's a bunch of secretly gay and secretly like trans porn watching guys, maybe not Chris Thompson, but that are like him, that are gamers and all that are projecting that insecurity into hatred and trans people. And then 5% of the populace that is like, hey, can we talk about policy with trans things?
So Mrs. Thompson's elbow up says, my two sons have watched a few episodes of this. We talked about it and then moved on. Nothing shoved down their throat, but any chance to normalize living in a world with others. Yeah, there's not like, as a parent, your kid, like I shouldn't say, you at least know when your kid is gay or straight or whatever. Like I remember my youngest, he had a crush on a girl, and like you could see it in like kindergarten, first grade. So you already knew, you know what I mean? And then you let them be them. And then, if there's any, but I always let my sons know that if you're gay or if you're whatever, that's totally fine. Please let us, you know what I mean? I wanted them to have no fear of any of that stuff. All three ended up straight, but it didn't matter to me.
It's almost like people have children and then they feel that intense bond and they love their children. They'll do anything for them. And if their child is gay or trans, then maybe they will seek out something like this because they love their children.
Yes. What's up, Mr. Blue Sky? Mr. 162 with a bullet on the top 200 list. Yes, Brent, I'm secretly gay. You got me, my friend. How's it going in Australia?
If anyone's secretly gay, it's Liquid. It's not Nick. Nick's straight.
Ready, Teddy? Ready. Okay. Today we're looking at the I in LGBTQIA. I stands for
I know.
You got this, Teddy.
Something?
Chris, can how about we just pull up some videos of people talking about how dinosaurs don't exist from the Bible, and how the Earth is only 3,000 years old. Let's be outraged about that.
I
Let's watch some videos about how America's like this free beacon that's not an imperialist force that doesn't bomb the shit out of people and blow them up this whole time, and just make it look like the flag is good. Let's just do that,
it's
and then
indoctrination.
let's make fun of that. How will that feel?
Well, we may get to some of that. Yeah, conservative Colin. No offense, my friend, but this demonetize, whatever fucking word I want to say, actual child abuse. This is not child abuse. This is a short YouTube video. That's all this is. Teaching kids about the LGBTQ stuff and empathy for others, and to love themselves and to love
You know
their
what's
neighbor.
literal child abuse is Dennis Hastert, the former Republican Speaker of the House that molested boys through a boys' school for homeless young men, or the Catholic Church molesting boys all the time, or Donald Trump and hanging out with Jeffrey Epstein and trafficking underage people and getting mad at him for getting mad at Jeffrey Epstein for taking his 14-year-old spa employee and molesting her. That's child abuse.
100%. Like let's fight for that Epstein list instead of worrying about a niche YouTube channel that.
I mean, do y'all recognize that literally right in front of us, there's a cover up of molestation of underage girls that Donald Trump is involved in? They literally gave Ghislaine Maxwell a sweetheart deal and moved her to a minimum security prison in order to testify in a favorable way for Donald Trump, because he flew in the Lolita Express a gajillion times. He's all over that shit. And if you're not retarded, you would recognize that he's behaving like someone that is guilty. So you have no moral high ground to talk about children.
I've said it before. My biggest, the most frustrated I've been with my co-host Liquid Cryptid is on the Trump Epstein thing, where he's acting guilty as hell. I don't know how he just can't admit it.
We know that hundreds of thousands of young children have been diddled by religious leaders. Do you really think that if there was a bunch of trans people molesting children, that Kash Patel's FBI wouldn't be all over and exposing it? The problem is that there isn't that. There's also not that many violent criminals that are here from the border, and so they have to kind of start making things up. So I'm sorry, and it kind of shows because you're watching and revisiting shows from 4 or 5 years ago and bitching about it because you guys got nothing, and you are the ones that are cushioning and coddling and protecting a child sex predator president and his buddies.
That's like the outrage machine gets this info out there, like you said, then someone like you knows that these shows aren't even on anymore, like that Netflix doesn't fucking play them anymore, like because they've done, like you said, they've gone the other way. They've made an algorithmic and economic decision, no longer support this sort of thing. So
I think we need to explore the religious right now, because I think that if you're willing to explore conspiratorial shit, which I think this is a bipartisan issue, like blackmail is integral to Washington. And so when you start looking at what I was saying about Dennis Hastert, former Speaker of the House, turns out to be a child molester. I wonder if he was blackmailed into signing NAFTA bills and all kinds of shit. Mike Johnson is kind of, I think, a gay guy and is being blackmailed. And he's protecting Donald Trump on the Epstein stuff. He's holding up votes. He's not letting a person get their be sworn in. Right in front of y'all, right in front of you right now. Jim Jordan protected a child molesting wrestling coach, and he's right there standing with Christ and Trump. We can keep going down the list of all these scumbag, pseudo or apparently religious right wingers. that actually are involved in diddling little children. If you care
Yeah.
about children, but I guess we need to watch this YouTube video from like
I forgot all about that. Yeah, there's literally it's been
almost
weeks.
yeah.
It's been weeks that Mike Johnson has not sworn in this person. Only reason, I mean, this member of the House of Representatives. Only reason is because that could be the deciding vote to force them
The pro-Trump Speaker of the House that is actively protecting Donald Trump from having the Epstein file vote
release.
and
Yes.
is literally held up Congress. He let Congress out of session to protect Donald Trump. Is a guy who looks gay and also is a guy that took his 13-year-old son and had them both sign up to an accountability app where they would tell each other if the other one watched pornography. And I want to ask you if you think that that's normal.
I'm gonna say no, it's not normal. But I'm gonna say I agree. It's probably never getting out, but it's also because there's a lot of Trump's in it. We've been through this. Bill Clinton's in it. Way too many powerful people are in this fucking shit. What are you saying, Mitch? All right, I'm not putting. I don't even know what you're saying.
I'm not gonna give.
Yeah.
I refuse to play into this frame. People use it with Anthony Cumia and everything like that. Just because we already talked about it, like just because like Anthony Cumia, like everyone already talked about how he was DMing a bunch of 13 and 14-year-old girls that had braces on Instagram. Like it's not old news because it's not been adjudicated. So no, I'm not gonna stop bringing that up, and I'm not gonna stop bringing up the Epstein thing because right now, actively, the Speaker of the House is protecting Trump from having that hearing, which is a bipartisan hearing of the files being released, and he's not letting someone that won elected office be sworn in because they would be that vote. That's happening right now.
Yeah,
and you're fucking watching these YouTube videos, cocksucker.
And Jelaine, I mean, there's even rumors. I mean, she's already in a nice, cushy place she shouldn't be in now.
Why aren't they mad about that?
Yeah. And she might even be pardoned. Like, I don't know if that's going to happen, but that's been rumored too. You know what I mean?
He said he's considering pardoning right now. He said that just like this month.
That's
but
why
but y'all care about kids.
Yeah, I have so much trouble taking this. Like,
That's why don't concede to them. Sorry. Don't concede to them. They're full of it, and they're such hypocrites.
I used to be being where I'm from and being like an agnostic I grew up in a Catholic family, but in the fucking Boston area. So, I mean, I thankfully didn't happen to me. Actually, didn't happen that I know of to anyone I know closely, but my father knew of a couple people this shit happened to. And nobody turns their back on the Catholic Church, or hardly anybody. They just let it keep rolling. It's fine.
All right. I think we made our point. You want to go forward?
Sure.
That's right, Teddy. I stands for intersex.
Intersex. Yeah, that's what I meant.
Teddy, before we talk about what intersex means, I have a very...
Mitch, I figured out what you were talking about. I thought you were saying it a different way. I apologize.
It's my friend Claudia.
Yes.
Hi, Lindsay. Hi, Teddy. Hello. Teddy, Claudia is going to help me explain what intersex means. That's right.
Woohoo! I'm so excited. Claudia, can I ask you 2 questions first?
Sure, Teddy.
What are your pronouns and how do you...
Oh my God, here we go with the
she,
pronouns.
Her, and I identify as a lesbian, genderqueer, and as intersex.
What's genderqueer? That's a new word too.
Great listening, Teddy. We don't have time today to talk about what genderqueer means, but we're totally going to talk about it another time. We're just going to focus on intersex today. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's okay, Lindsay. Now I definitely need to learn what intersex means.
Let's get to it then. Claudia, I'll let you take the reins on this one.
Thanks, Lindsay. Intersex has to do with someone's body. Intersex people have bodies that aren't easily defined as boy bodies or girl bodies. Intersex people...
It's Pat. Genderqueer. The term for people whose gender identity exists outside of the traditional male and female binary, encompassing various experiences like identifying as both male and female, neither or having a gender identity that shifts over time. Oh my God.
Nick, can you share the image?
We're born with some parts we expect most boys to have.
What do you want me to share?
I think I don't know if I did this right.
Oh, yes. Yep. Sorry.
That is a mugshot of the Speaker of the House for over 12 years when me and Nick were growing up. He was a Republican Speaker of the House. He was molesting young boys. Just wanted.
Yeah, but that's okay. It's fine.
It's fine.
Like, yeah, we'll watch a little more of this, and then if you get time, maybe we'll move on to the other thing because I think it gets repetitive. He just keeps watching these similar videos over and over again. But we'll see if anything comes up first.
Some body parts we expect girls to have, and sometimes traits that most girls or boys don't have, all in the same body.
So intersex isn't.
I don't
a
blame you,
shelf.
Mandy.
Nope. It's about what different people's bodies look like and how they work. An intersex person's body doesn't fit in a category with either boys' bodies or girls' bodies.
Just like what we always talk about when we talk about being queer. Intersex
They have
people are
some
just
sort
a
of
little bit
agenda.
different.
They don't teach it, like they don't teach this in school. This is again for if you have a child who is transgender or you believe is transgender, you sit down and watch this. Otherwise, you don't. That's it. You know, I don't. We've beaten it to death. And I'll even be honest. I can't. I don't want to sound like hell. I all the genders there are or the descriptions of genders, I don't know them all. It gets confused, but I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. I'm not going to get mad over it. Doesn't bother me. I don't think it's crazy fucking important if someone wants to say they're genderqueer and intersex or whatever, you know.
I feel like the only thing I like that Joe Biden ever did or said, like somebody on the campaign trail asked him like, how many genders are there? And then he just got quiet for a minute and then he said, at least 3. And that should just be that should be how we treat that.
Yeah, and like I said, yes, watching these back to back, like I said, every time they're like, "What's your pronouns? How do you identify?" Oh, sure, it gets a little much, but that's nothing. It's nothing to be mad about. It's nothing to talk about indoctrination or talking about fucking being child abuse. It's not. That's not what it is.
And if people want to step up to the table and have a conversation, then we can have that conversation. And in that conversation, we can all agree to just be like, those people need to shut the fuck up.
Yes, Jim Jordan, the wrestling coach. Yeah, right.
In Congress right now.
Yeah, yep.
I got a feeling we'll figure it out here in the next
intersex
couple of
people
years.
are kind of
Trump
like body
supporter.
queer.
Hey, Conservative Colin says hi, Mandy.
Not quite. Some intersex people identify as queer, and some don't. But being queer isn't the same as being intersex.
And intersex isn't a gender.
I'll argue that one with you. Oh, my God, guys, this is really hard to stomach sometimes. It really is. The only reason why we're doing this is because people need to
Just
know
for content.
what is going on out there.
I've seen videos of Palestinian children getting their heads blown off by snipers. That was hard to stomach. This is not. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Happy Pride Month.
Chris isn't interested in that because he's too busy posting a White Snake base cover.
Which, nothing wrong with that. I was a White Snake fan in junior high or 6th grade.
I'm going to bed.
Somewhere and all this stuff. Here's Drag Queen Story Hour. Thank God it's under 5. Thank God it's only 5 minutes. Oh my God. Here we go. Desmond is amazing. I don't know if you ever saw him, but he was on like the Good Morning America or something like that. I don't blame you for being mad, Conservative Colin. This pisses me off, and I hate doing this. I would rather be doing something a little more upbeat. But
yeah, well, this is
Desmond,
what's so
they showed
this is
him
like what's so
on, like,
retarded about it again, because again the point I made earlier about like this isn't being fed into an algorithm. A parent has to put this channel on. It doesn't go to children. They can't just find videos like that. He's clearly not even on YouTube. He's in their fucking site. So they just being indoctrinated to our kids. But then it kind of like it gets into that whole thing of like, if me and you decided that we wanted to just shit on something, and then we would just go find me and you have so much more respect for Trump supporters than any of, I don't even know if he's a Trump supporter, but it sounds like anyone that behaves like this, where we don't just find like the QAnon shaman and just sit there and talk about how much of a bozo he is. You know what I mean? It's just like, yeah, you can find like absurd things everywhere for anyone, but at a certain point, it's just like, what? It's like, yep, I don't know. It's like, why are you showing me this? Is to me more interesting than that. If you have any critical thinking skills, it's like, what? That's the thing you always have to ask with every news source, anything you ever watch, is why. One, what are they saying, and then two, why are they saying that to me? You know.
Yes, like I brought up, and as an example, I brought up before. I had no fucking idea who Dylan Mulvaney was until Kid Rock and the whole right lost their fucking minds over a Bud Light can.
I still don't know who Dylan Mulvaney was.
But they all seem to know who she was. So why is Dylan Mulvaney? Why is a trans YouTuber showing up on your radar, on your algorithm? And why are you flipping out over a single beer can, novelty can that she had sent to her?
And for what it's worth, for Chris, like, I never saw any of these videos when I was growing up. No one ever talked about trans people. My parents are religious, but I've known I was trans this whole time. It has nothing, and it wasn't because anyone showed me something. You fucking douchebag.
Yeah, right. Peter Sky Parker, thank you, my friend. He said, "Here's this thing you didn't know existed that doesn't affect your life, and we must fight it." Yes,
so much better. That was so much better than.
Put it perfectly.
Yeah.
Yes. And Ava, kudos for personally handling the issue so well in terms of the Dabbleverse. A good attitude conquers all. Yes, she does a fantastic job.
It's evolving. I like that we're doing this because it's a checkpoint because I started here with you.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
yeah. It's kind
I like doing this stuff every so often. It's I don't know. It's a nice, I like doing. It's serious, but we're also, whatever, laughing at the absurdity of it at the same time. Yeah.
One point they showed him pretending like he was sniffing that, was it carotene or whatever, off the drag queen's
I'm
hand.
sorry, I gotta interrupt it again.
And later on they showed him dancing on the bar.
You're a parent in the sense I get is that you're involved with your family in a way that I really, really respect. I'm not even a parent, but I have things that are going on in my life. Like, I cannot imagine having time to having watched any of these videos. like, this takes like you pursuing this issue and then, or maybe clicking something from it. But like, I can't believe he's watched he's on to another video. It's just, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, that's weird.
All right. My youngest is the one that was super into YouTube because YouTube didn't come around until my other two kids were a little older or whatever. But they talk to their friends, they find things, you watch what you monitor what they watch. My kid would mostly watch, when he was young, fucking people playing fucking video games. He'd watch like someone else opening up fucking Easter eggs, some little kid opening, like that's the shit they don't fucking find this shit. They don't watch this shit.
I think there's an overrepresentation, one, of like middle-aged, like gross women that look like Nancy Mace.
Yeah, fuck her. Yeah.
But then like loser, gamer, lonely, aggrieved men, and that are just obsessed with this, but everyone else is just living their lives and not.
I would love to, like, I didn't even think of this till now. Like, if this is what our kids are, let's go see how many views fucking Mr. Beast has, and then compare it to one of these fucking videos. Like, how much is this shit even being watched? And it's probably mostly being watched by right wing people wanting to be like outraged.
And again, I said it earlier. I was like, it's such a lost cause because like, there's something to explore about the way the algorithm affects children, but it has nothing to do with this shit. It has everything to do with like corporate bullshit.
Yeah.
And corporations don't care about trans people unless it makes them money, and they figured out that ain't gonna make them money anymore, and that ain't happening anymore.
Yeah.
So why are we still talking about it?
100%.
Fucking in a nightclub in New York that he's not even old enough to be in. This kid was like 10 or 11 years old at the time. I don't know how old he is now.
By the way,
parents need to be.
By the way, this guy watches trans porn.
I don't even know what this kid he's talking about is. Like, I think he's in this video. Chris, I know what you're saying.
Chris watches trans porn.
I think he's in the Asian porn, but who knows?
Do you know that for a fact?
I know he's in the Asian women, so I assume he's in the Asian porn.
Oh, he's got the. Oh. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to think about that. I'll report back to you later.
Hey there, friends. Welcome to Queer Kid Stuff.
Desmond is
I'm
amazing.
Teddy, and I'm hosting today. Whee!
Queer Kid Stuff. are
You're a
enough
loser.
here at Queer Kid Stuff.
You're just sitting here looking at things that are gonna make you mad.
I'm in charge today, and I have a
Oh, boy.
super special guest coming in for the first ever Meet a Queer Kid extra special episode of Queer Kid Stuff. I can't wait any longer. Hi, Desmond. Hi. Everyone,
This is all
my
YouTube
friend,
kids right here that we're
Desmond
seeing.
is amazing. No, really, that's their real name. Hi. How you doing?
Good.
Do you have a good day today?
Yeah.
First question. What are your pronouns and how do you identify?
My pronouns are he, him, and I identify as a boy.
Tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
I'm an LGBT activist / advocate, a drag kid, a public figure, and I love your t-shirt.
Thank you so much. Can you tell us a
Yeah,
little bit
this is
more
sad.
about
This
what
is
a
geared
drag
towards
kid does?
pre-K
We've
kids.
learned about drag queens and drag
When I say
kings
pre-K, I know
and
some
stuff.
different parts of
We don't
the
know what a
states
drag kid does.
call it different
A
things.
drag
It's
kid is a kid
pre-kindergarten.
that does drag. Get it? Drag kid.
We know what drag is. That's when you dress up as a different gender that's exaggerated. Is that how you would describe drag?
Yeah.
I would describe it as a fucking
So,
abomination.
how did you start as a drag kid?
Well, when my mom was watching the first episode, we called
So if it's an abomination, then you have a problem with it. Like that's the part I'm trying to. One of the parts I'm trying to like deal with or address is this is not just Chris but others. They say I don't care if you're trans, I don't care if you're gay, but and then now it's an abomination.
You know what we should do? And if you want, I'll do it. But maybe we can collab on it. Is we should find the analytics for these videos, and then look at the demographic of it, and see if it's just aggrieved men like this. Like what YouTube accounts are watching this the most.
Yeah, it could be some hate watching going on.
I will bet you $300 that it will come up that way.
Interesting.
Interesting. Is that what you just said?
No, I'm not gonna bet because I'm guessing you're.
I know.
draggers. I stopped
Yes,
them
I've heard
with
about
my
them.
toys,
They
and
do a
I
lot of
said,
good work.
Join in.
There is a group called Gays Against Grooming. They got canceled by the media because they said leave the kids alone. I don't think anyone is pushing kids to be gay. Like I said, if you love your kid, a great example. Oh fuck, I'm not gonna be able to think of his name right now. God damn it. Shit. There's
Michael
a really good
Jackson.
basketball player for the fucking Miami Heat, Dwayne Wade. One of his children ended up trans, and he was one. He wasn't anti-trans or anything, but he was almost one of the people that was ignorant to the whole thing and didn't know much about it. And I've heard him and his wife talk, and I think one of them may have written a book. I can't remember, but they've given speeches on it. And yeah, basically just saying, look, you love your kid more than anything. You want your kid to be happy, so you do what they want. That's all it is. That's all it is. If you truly, any decent parent loves their kid more than anything fucking else in the world, more than anyone else in the world, you want them to be happy. You want them to be themselves.
Yeah.
You're not going to push them to be something they're not in either direction. If they're straight, you're not going to push them to be gay. If they're cis, you're not going to push them to be trans, or vice versa. You shouldn't push them back the other way either. So that's all.
And like a lot of the volunteer hours I had to do for a class last semester, it's like I'd sit in on these counseling sessions with parents that have trans kids or gay kids, and the way they were navigating that was just literally what you were saying. It was just they just cared about their kid and wanted to do the right thing for them.
Yeah, that should be number one. PSP says, but yesterday or whatever it was, I tried simplifying things for Granny by saying gender and sex are two different things. I know it's not that simple, but I think it helps people.
No, Granny, you alley-ooped that to me. You have to understand that I have a different role in the dynamic, like what happened with Granny. I have to talk to him in a different way, and so the way that you were framing that would have come off as condescending. And unfortunately, whenever you try to defend the human rights of brown people or black people or women or trans people, you have to baby feed it. And so the way you were saying it was too aggressive, but God bless you for putting that there, because I didn't even know how to. It's so hard to say that in those settings without triggering someone, because you have to there's all these landmines of just trigger word. So you have to just try to be like, there is a dictionary. There's two words, and then you have to just keep reminding them, but
You're a good one, PSP. You're a good one.
You just learned to that because you don't have a choice.
Ava, do you know who Stephanie Helms is? I actually don't. Do you know who that is?
Mm-mm.
It's not. Fucker.
And that's when it
Don't hold your
started.
tongue, dude.
And this
Let
is
it out,
when I was
man.
2 years old? Wow.
This is the whole reason why I'm doing this
11.
is because people need to know.
11 years old.
And it's going to take
You know,
people
there's
like
almost like
us,
something
like
weird
you.
about, like, there's a part of me that, like, there's an aversion to just watching like children on shows. It makes, and it's like he's just sitting here watching kids on these shows.
So, God, this is gonna sound weird. So, all right, the other day it was beautiful out, right? And it was last Friday. It was last Friday. It was beautiful up here. We had like an employee appreciation thing. We went out for lunch, and I got out early. I literally there was nobody home, so there was like a fucking park near my house, and I went down there and shot the basketball for a little bit, and then I just chilled under a tree, and it was relaxing. But then I got out of there because I felt fucking weird because there were a bunch of kids running around, and I was like some guy just sitting there like holding the fucking basketball,
Yeah.
doing nothing, with no kids around me. I was like the only one there that didn't have kids. I was like with me, so I'm like I gotta go. Yeah.
No, I felt that especially like we never talked about this, but like I really really love orangutans and in the Portland Zoo. Like as soon as I started transitioning, like during COVID, there was a baby orangutan that was born, and it was this family. The dad was coincidentally from Greenville, South Carolina, where I'm from, and I would just go sit with them, and like we got to like they recognized me, and so every Sunday I would just go sit with like a notepad and just listen to music, and just there's like a little spot. There's just the most beautiful animals, but the Oregon Zoo is it was really kind of one of the only places outside of Metro Portland I would go, and it's like so there's like a lot of kids there and stuff like that, and I found that same thing because of all that propaganda that was starting where they're like trans people are like looking for kids, whatever. It made that like I would just be like, I don't want to like just try to like get away from every kid that was there. But yeah, it made that really difficult.
So I think where I can relate the most, since like I'm not trans, is during the pandemic, 2020, when shit was shut down. Where I lived at the time, there was actually a really nice like bike path, like that went very long, like miles and miles and miles. And I used to go there with my wife and kids. And then one night I'm like, I'm gonna go ride my bike and it was dark out, and there was one woman on there jogging on the path. And we went by each other a couple of times, and I kept trying to get away from her because I didn't want her to be scared, of a middle-aged man on this bike path in the fucking dark, like following, because we were going the same direction. I literally kept fucking changing my direction so I wasn't like going where she was because I didn't want to think I was like fucking stalking her or some shit. So I probably overthought it.
That doesn't surprise me,
dude. To get this out, people need to know.
Desmond is amazing. Why are you
I think
so
that he's a pedophile now.
Good question.
We fight however we. This
I'm not gonna know. I'm not gonna go that far. I still like Chris. I got hope. I don't know. I think he just got rage baited. Hopefully.
Yeah, but there's a lot of
we need
watch
to fight.
time.
fight however we can fight it.
And judgism and
I do love shade fighting. I really do.
You are an inspiration to many others. You're an inspiration.
Strike first, strike fast, strike hard, strike nobody sees it coming.
What kind of activism you do in the LGBT
Who are we fighting though, Chris? I
I
don't
go
know
to
who we're
protests,
fighting.
I go to the pride parades. I go to memorials.
We did an episode
His
about
inner
that.
urges.
Not all I can tell you that shit.
Oh boy.
Let's see, what else we got here?
Do you want me to take our stuff?
Let's meet Freddie Mercury. Bisexual Awareness Week. Oh my God.
Can you imagine this?
Yeah. So all right, you know what? I might even, if he's got time, I just want to go over that right wing thing for a little bit because he watches a bunch of these. He watches like a bisexual.
Watching a
one.
lot of it.
Yeah, and they're all, for anyone that's watching, each one's like on a different subject. Like one of them like says it's on bisexuality. They actually learn about Freddie Mercury. I don't remember the other ones, but there's usually a guest. They'll be like,
I was wondering like how he ended up on those sites, but now I'm learning that maybe it's because he ended up on there so he could learn how to groom them.
Here's a black and white one.
Thanks for coming along. Think you can define what a spectrum is for us?
It looks like
Sure.
Pat from
But
Saturday
we
Night
should
Live.
go over a few things first.
Oh, well,
This is a
maybe Teddy
grown
can actually help
man.
us out with that. Teddy, do you remember all the stuff we talked about?
See this.
I mean, what the?
Learn the
Privilege,
cook.
or sing along to our privilege song, then come right back here.
What's the next ingredient?
Our next ingredient is
Damn you, Mandy.
intersectionality.
I remember. It's
Lucky
about all of the
Smokey.
parts of identity.
Exactly. So practicing intersectionality and remembering that all the parts of our identity together have to do with our privilege is the second
All right,
ingredient.
let's just see how we close.
Fucking no. Take screenshots. You are more than welcome to take a screenshot of any bit of this that I just showed you and use it. Or you can go to YouTube Kids. You'll find it. It's not just go in there, type in gay. You're going to find it.
Whoa.
Yeah, I don't think they do that anymore. Just like they don't teach cursive writing.
Teach
Yeah,
children how
he
to
seems to be spending a lot of time on YouTube Kids and then typing gay.
even
weirdo.
here, Colin. I actually like you, Colin, but teach the children how to balance a checkbook, not this bullshit. I
Hey,
get made fun of for still having a checkbook because nobody fucking uses checks anymore.
That's true.
That shit's almost obsolete, man. There's no need.
It's
to
almost
learn
like
that.
he's so close to the right point there, conservative Colin.
Right. I know what he's saying.
He's so close to getting.
Yeah. Just pick something else, my friend. You're like, hey.
No, it's almost like, yeah, like why are we focusing on this bullshit?
Yeah.
Let's teach kids
Oh,
how to balance a checkbook.
yeah, almost there. Just don't go with the checkbook. All right. Let me
Where's that cocksucker? Is he here? Bring him in here.
I haven't seen him. I don't know. I just want to put this other video up. I only watched it once, but just kind of showing some possible right-wing indoctrination that these guys might be okay with. So
Regardless, this is him?
and enjoy.
no, this guy's gonna cover it. It's on I forget the YouTuber's name, but there's a guy YouTuber, and he's got at least like 2 young boys that he uses in his videos to kind of teach some right-wing propaganda to I guess
Okay.
other kids. I don't know.
The video. This is a baby. Babies and children and little monsters are core to the functioning of our society. They are where the roots of our ever-growing tree of life begin. If we nurture and treat them with care and kindness, they will be better suited to do the same to their kin. Therefore, it is very important to instill the best human traits we can within them. Unfortunately, that part is subjective. To many, simple things like letting your children play outside or taking them to the movies or anything that brings general childhood happiness is a given. To others, manipulating them into believing whatever you want them to believe serves as a great way to make you happy, making your children into a little mini-me. Do you know how much easier it would be if I had a little mini Saji running around that I trained to script and edit my videos so I don't have to do all the work? But I don't do that. One, because cloning is less time consuming and laws haven't cut up to it yet, and the more important reason being that that is child abuse. Say hello to GSD Nation.
I'm a conservative kid, and this is my flag.
I'm a liberal sheep, and this is my flag. Wait, no, this is my flag. Wait, hold on, no, this is actually my flag. Wait, no, actually, this is gonna be my flag. Wait, actually, no, that's my flag right there. No, that's my flag.
These are children. Babies, even. Instead of kicking my ass in Fortnite, they're telling me that traditional conservatism is better than the woke mob of the left. One flag is better than a lot of them. I don't need kids to tell me this. I have grown adults saying it every day. If anything, this is just sad. I feel bad for these children, that their parents are indoctrinating them with right-wing propaganda and turning it into content instead of letting them just be kids. They literally have a podcast. These children are podcast bros.
Now they're forcing our favorite NFL teams to post a pride message on every social media platform.
I need conservatives to stop telling me that we are brainwashing the younger generations by teaching them about sexuality. While a lot of the best human traits are subjective, making your children podcast bros as soon as they exit the womb is objectively the worst human trait you can give to them. Sorry, but spewing misogynistic talking points into a microphone at the ripe age of 8 years old might be more damaging for a child's brain than teaching them about gay people. But hey, what do I know? I played outside as a kid.
Are you having trouble trying to keep up with your
he's
professor?
fucking-
You've got to try
That's right. That is goddamn right.
Yep.
GSD Nation is the name of the YouTube channel and overall brand. It was started by Father Matt Morstad and his kids on a mission to build more producers by thinking objectively, rationally, and critically. They break down complex topics and engage with all ages. encouraging ways to become a more productive member of society and get shit done, which is what GSD stands
Dad's
for.
look-
Now, before
Dad's
we get
looking a
into the
little gay
video,
there,
I
by
just
the
want
way.
to preface by saying that
Could
I
be.
don't want anyone to send these people
It's
hate.
always your theory.
Please don't bully these children. It is not their fault that they are in this
When it
predicament.
applies.
It is the parents. But regardless, we're not here to be mean. We are here to observe and critique. Now, the father, Matt Morstad, has a goal of educating his children, and by making it public,
you know what I'm saying?
inadvertently educating.
Come on.
Yeah, I mean it happens a lot.
Tend to always have these symmetrical gay haircuts.
Others. Other kids, I assume he's hoping for. Why is this bad? Why am I calling it out? Well, for a number of reasons. For one, it's very hypocritical for conservatives and Republicans to call out left-wing indoctrination and brainwashing when this is literally that. For another, with the rise of distrust in the public school system and the move to homeschooling due to this right-wing anti-education rhetoric, we really get to take a look at the quality of education the average homeschooled conservative family probably gets. And boy, is it subpar to say the least. In their podcast, The Programming Lions, this is fairly evident. But before we get there, I want to take a look at their short-form content to get a good sense of these guys' politics. Now, weird thing to note, I first found these guys on Instagram, but when trying to find their account again after someone DM'd me asking to talk about them, their Instagram accounts stopped showing up for me. I doubt they premeditated this video and blocked me, but anytime I try to find their account, it's gone. So I'd be interested to see who all can see their Instagram or not, but in the meantime, we'll be looking at their TikTok. GSD Nation does your standard Republican meme post. If you guys remember when I covered the date right stuff guy a while back, his content is just like making up circumstances where he, the conservative, is winning and you, the imaginary liberal, is losing.
The feminists out there being aggressive and rude and generally unpleasant.
Oh, come on. Are you kidding me? This guy.
This dude is gay as fuck. Gay as
They're all
fuck.
gay.
Unbelievable.
They're all
Unbelievable.
projecting. They're all project. I mean, that Chris guy, he's probably projecting too.
Christian conservatives raising 2 gay kids. Yeah, this dude definitely seems fucking gay. I gotta back off on this one. Definitely seems gay. Oh god.
He's gay, and then that Christopher guy, I'm starting to think is a Chester.
Oh, I don't know, Ava. I'm not gonna go there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well, I know I did.
feminists take
Okay,
I not
their
do that?
videos are a lot like that.
you can say what you want. Though, as Jake would say, the words of my guest Ava Raiza is not the words of Mumbling Nick or whatever.
I didn't start feeling that way, but then like as we were going through it, I was like, this guy's like watching a lot of videos of kids and typing gay and YouTube kids and a little close to home.
Yeah, I think he, like I said, I think he got rage baited. That's what I'm hoping.
Best
A lot more dumbed down because children.
In my dad's generation, they had Wonder Woman.
In my generation, people wonder what a woman is.
And then there's this one.
Mad Libs was originated in 1958, but not much has changed because today, still, we have a lot of Mad Libs.
I mean, it's cute. It's adorable.
Oof.
Right. So we have right-wing rhetoric and talking points being delivered in the form of child make pun in front of camera so parent happy. And then there are posts where these children are trying to educate me on something in which they clearly know nothing about.
When a child is a victim in a school shooting, it's a horrible tragedy, right? When a baby is ended in the mother's womb, it's female empowerment?
When a baby is ended in the mother's womb, it's female empowerment. I'm almost like distracted by how cute he is that I don't realize that this child is invalidating the severity and trauma of mass shooting victims by comparing it to abortions.
What's happening in Gaza right now is heartbreaking. It's unnecessary and it's infuriating. We agree, free Palestine. But let's be honest, to free Palestine, you have to free it from Hamas.
I never want to tell anyone how to parent. That's not my place. But a 12-year-old kid telling me that Hamas needs to release the hostages is certainly not being parented properly. I hesitate in putting myself out there when talking about politics. You should not be hesitant free when putting your children's faces out there like this, especially when these kids really don't understand what's happening. You're just feeding them information. They're not really able to form their own opinion. Everything they're saying is based off of you, the parent. These guys have a smaller following, and I mentioned not wanting to...
You know what's weird too as a parent, like usually kids, a lot of times they want to have the opposite of their parents, like we did. You know what I mean? Like my kids, my kids have 2 kind of economic populist activist fucking parents. Trust me, he fucking eye rolls at us. Like he's a good kid, similar values and everything, but he almost wants to be like, oh my god, fucking Christ, he's dude, fucking nodding at me right now. Yeah,
like when we're that our age, like what are parents like outside of just rules and being grounded, but it's just like we're just like like they had nothing to do with like our path that we were like, it's like you go to school and things like that. Like I'm really close with my niece and nephew, and so I've like since they turned 6, like I talk to them on the phone like every weekend, just getting to hear like now they're like 13 and 15, like hearing that trajectory and then just thinking about everything we're discussing right now. It's just like insane that like they have that kid there just talking about Hamas like that.
I know. Yes, Delta. That's what I'm saying. It's actually almost weird. Like you almost have to really push to get your like young kids to like think like you fucking are, to that extent on those issues that they know nothing about. Like little kids know nothing about fucking Palestine and abortion, and they get them to talk about that shit and mass shootings. It's fucking gross.
There's this like riff. There's like this riff that I'm trying to like find the right way to write, but it really is about defending women from, in the sense that we have to have a culture that does not have people that are closeted trans and gay. Like in the sense that like in my experience, all the relationships I was in, like those girls felt crazy because they noticed something was like, and they were internalizing it and all that. And then like when you look at like a guy like that, like we had this pastor that got busted that was obviously gay in Greenville, and when you have these closeted people, it actually ends up wrecking families because they have these secrets and they end up like doing meth in a hotel room with like some gay person and getting caught, and they have 2 kids that are raised in this religious household. Like we need to just let people not have to be in the closet if anything to protect families from closeted gay and trans people, because they're going to get busted because gay people are going to gay and trans people are going to trans.
Yeah, 100%.
If you care about women.
Any hate.
Oh no, they don't. So, yeah, I forgot to bring this up. Like, I had this thought in my head while we were talking earlier. I think like briefly, the women's sports, the trans in sports shit came up, and I was like, what drives me nuts? Like, I thought of this like a couple weeks ago, last month, whatever. When I don't know if you heard or pay attention, but there were some people kept throwing fucking like green dildos on the fucking court at WNBA
to mock
games.
the woman, because
yeah. And these are the same people. That's what I mean. They don't care about female
Donald Trump
sports.
Jr. was retweeting that.
Right. So don't tell me you care about female sports. Like when those same women ask for fair pay, they shit on them. Then they throw fucking green fucking dildos at them. But when there's a trans person, they care so much about these women. Like fuck off.
Isn't that like why maybe like the approach me and you've been taking isn't the right one? Is that it there's nothing that will come from me pointing out that hypocrisy.
Yeah, you're right. I guess
like they're just hateful bit. Like it's like because we came up with Bernie that we were so concerned with economic populist issues that we refused to do this frame because we wanted to empathize with Trump supporters because it was supposedly about this like Rust Belt and all these things about the working class and then like these manufacturing towns and all that. And so we almost willed this into existence when really they are just bigots. Like they're not going to listen to that. They'll vote against their economic interest. They're just doing it over and over again with Trump. Farmers are getting fucked over. They're just bigots and they just want to be bigots. And so so we have to show strength and not even, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I know.
Because there's no one that you could make that point to that's a Trump supporter that's going to like get anything out of it. And that's such an important point. Like about the women's sports thing and like you know what I mean?
I know. I keep forgetting, like, and this is all right. This is gonna be arrogant of me. I'm usually self-deprecating, but I feel like I'm a very rational person. And when someone points out like a fucking absurd hypocrisy to me, I'm like, you know what? You're fucking right. So I try to hope that at least a few other people will too. But you're right. It almost never fucking happens. It never happens.
To this family, and that remains true. But a big reason as to why this is so
there's
irresponsible is
your retard friend. Misfit Nations, and he misspelled the question. He said, "You can answer what a woman or man is. Your opinion on this subject is irrelevant." I was supposed to say can't.
Oh,
he said can.
I hate that fucking. Not you, Krishan. I fucking hate.
He's
who the
worthless
fuck is that guy? Matt Walsh. That fucking dude. What is a woman? Take a hike.
Yeah, and this is a guy They used to stream from his car right near a school, like with children there, and he used to just stream that from there.
Yeah, I'm not just saying this. I've always been a little sus of Matt Walsh.
He's a pedo.
He might be. Yeah.
Because of the hate these kids are already getting. Putting them on blast like this is not only opening them up to constant harassment, but it's just gonna make them double down on their views out of spite. If this isn't indoctrination, I don't know what is. Republicans love to say that the teaching of critical race theory or the teaching of sexuality and freedom of expression is indoctrination. Banning books, firing teachers, underfunding schools, all to then have the director of Am I Racist educate your children. I'm not joking. Am I Racist was a movie that I covered here on the channel, made by Ben Shapiro's The Daily Wire and starring Matt Walsh as the lead. Matt Walsh went undercover as a liberal, not very well if I may add, in an attempt to invalidate racism in America and expose white guilt as an overdramatized and agenda-based decoy. And I went undercover as a conservative, very well if I may add, to watch this movie. It is The Daily Wire, so it's very right-wing, contrarian, surface level, and yes, it is racist. So of course, GSD Nation had to get the director of Am I Racist, Justin Folk, to feature on a podcast episode.
And if you notice, we made movies that they're not necessarily political movies per se, they're more cultural.
The movie is about invalidating racism. I think it's safe to say that it's a little bit political. The podcast they do, The Programming Lions, is their main shtick. In these podcast episodes, they host a variety of different speakers to teach the boys about the world that they live in. From helping to simplify Bitcoin, to discussing why trans people don't belong in sports, to exposing communist infiltration in America. I have to say, this seems to be a very healthy format for educating your kids. I actually wouldn't be surprised if this was the way the kids are being taught, just through hosting a podcast, because they're for sure being homeschooled without a doubt in my mind. They literally react to and praise a debate video of Andrew Wilson, a guy who has excuses for.
You can make the case that like grape is bad for certain people.
No.
For certain people.
No, it's bad for everyone.
No, it's only bad for certain people. Here,
Andrew.
like there's women, you agree,
No.
who have orgasmed during SA.
That has nothing to do with
Bro.
I don't think he's the best role model. All of these videos are essentially the dad talking to pundits or people that hold strong conservative beliefs to help him in indoctrinating his children. In the trans athlete controversy episode with swimmer Caitlin Wheeler, they talk about her teammate Riley Gaines and trans swimmer Leah Thomas, who has been under fire for being a trans woman in women's swimming. Caitlin Wheeler has recently been added to the Turning Point USA roster. So unfortunately, she is no longer an unbiased source. She's quite literally being paid to spread anti-trans rhetoric. And this podcast episode, that is what she does.
Yeah. And of course, I didn't really see it as an issue. So I thought, okay, this is the NCAA is the only opportunity that we would ever see him possibly. They're not going to let a male compete at the women's NCAA championships.
Right.
No way. They're going to see it how we see it. Have common sense and a brain.
Not only referring to Leah Thomas as he the entire time, but also just demonizing the hell out of trans people and trans people in sports.
Story is very well known now, but there are so many other stories just like ours of female athletes being sidelined on podiums, being exploited in locker rooms. It's truly heartbreaking.
Guys.
Introducing Novel November, a free...
Yeah, never forget, she tied for what, 4th place, 5th place, whatever it was.
Significant amount of trans people involved in sports that scientists and researchers haven't been able to conduct the research to prove or disprove any advantages or disadvantages. Even among the statistics of trans people in sports, they don't even have a positive win rate. I mean, hell, Riley Gaines tied with trans swimmer Leah Thomas. She didn't even get beat. NCAA President Charlie Baker testified before the US Senate last year that he was aware of less than 10 transgender athletes committing in the league, a number amounting to less than 0.002% of athletes.
Hey, wait, will you pause it for a second?
Yeah.
Mr. Nation is asking what a woman is. So I'm going to pull up the definitions here. A woman, in terms of biological sex, the definition in terms of biological classification is they include chromosomes, XX, XY reproductive organs, and hormones. Generally assigned at birth. A person with a penis and XY chromosomes is a male. And gender, which is a social construct, encompassing roles, behaviors, expressions, and identity. It refers to a person's internal sense of self and how they express their identity. So, a woman, in terms of biological sex, includes chromosomes XX, XY, reproductive organs, and hormones. Male, born with a penis, XY chromosomes. You clear?
Fantastic.
Fucking
We learned
loser.
something today. We learned something. Unlike these, I was gonna say unlike these two young boys on here, but I'm sure they learned fucking way too much from their closeted.
It's coming from a Western chauvinist free speech advocate that's threatening a federal lawsuit against me for fucking talking shit. Fucking douchebag, idiot.
Committee began permitting trans and non-binary athletes to participate openly in 2003, fewer than a dozen have qualified. Most have competed on the team consistent with their gender assigned at birth, choosing to forego hormone replacement therapy in order to qualify for competition. Trans people have a higher chance in competing and performing well if they remain on the team matching their gender assigned at birth. Going through hormone replacement therapy just to qualify for the team of their transition gender is actually harder and more inconvenient for them to do. Anyway, point being, there literally aren't enough trans...
Yeah.
My view on trans sports is that every single transgender person, especially the trans people that are horrible at sports, all need to join every sports team everywhere and just eat shit and have their parents videotape it and post it everywhere on the internet. So every time they find one person that's really good at it, we have 2 billion fat slobs just losing at sports. And that's the way we get through this. Second, as somebody, if anyone's curious, that's been on HRT for 4 years. HRT is one, it suppresses your testosterone, and then two, through lab testing, it of your blood levels, it gets you to the estrogen levels of a woman. So for 4 years, I have been on HRT. Within a year, what you immediately notice is, first of all, just an absolute sense of peace, and the opposite of anger or violence. But second, you start to notice that all of your muscles start weighting off. So I used to be able to lift an amplifier up that I from years of touring, that I cannot lift up. I can't pick anything up. Like, your muscle turns into fat, and after 4 years of it, like, it is literally impossible to do almost anything I used to be able to do. That's so. Just if you want just to hear a trans person in that sense, that's my experience on it. I never, I used to like play baseball and stuff when I was younger, but I can tell you that I have lost all of my muscle mass, and it just turns into fat. And yeah.
John Oliver on Last Week Tonight, he did an episode on transgender sports, and yeah, he did a huge good part of the section was on how many of them are not any good. Like, they covered some trans woman who's like a third string fucking catcher, and she fucking sucks, but she's being like fighting to keep her off the team, even though she's like one of the worst people on the team. Just because you're trans doesn't make you a star fucking athlete all of a sudden. It's fucking crazy.
And also, like, when we're like, this theme of what we've been talking about tonight is scale. So it's like,
yes,
what is, so then it's like, what's the scale of how many transgender people are in this country? And then what's the scale of how many transgender women are there? And then what's the scale of how many transgender athletes are there? The starting point of it was at 1% transgender people. Like, if like the idea of someone like me, like that as it transitions to a transgender woman, the amount of them that want to go compete in sports that like are like masculine-ish is so marginal. It's such a stupid, if you just spend like 10 minutes just trying to just broadly assess that. Again, 1% of the population is transgender. And then when you think about the people that actually are like, I'm going to go compete in sports.
Right.
Nonetheless, like, to transition, like, it takes 3 to 4 years, not only just physiologically, but also before that, to get accepted to have health insurance cover it. So like the idea of like young athletes, like the amount of, they would have to have cleared so many hurdles so early to get to a point where not only have they gotten approved for health insurance, which takes years to, and it takes psychological counseling, it takes lab tests, et cetera, and then feeling that and then living that and then being like, I'm going to start playing sports and then I'm going to start competing in these high levels of sports, it's a retarded subject. That's all. Sorry about that, man.
No, you're right. And I always thought it was crazy, like to think that somebody would go through all that just to like play sports. You know what I mean? It never made any sense, especially since the only one they ever care about is trans females. Like, they don't care if a biological female turns into a fucking male and plays a sport because they don't think she's going to be able to make it or he's going to be able to make it. But it's like, no one's going to go through all that just to play sports. That's not what they would like, especially since professional female sports are the most popular one they have is the WNBA, where they throw fucking green fucking dildos on the court because people hate it.
And like, also, I've never like really expressed this, a lot of this in the Dabbleverse that I just said, but even this, it's like when you're transitioning, it's like you're like you're concerned about so many aspects of femininity and in the way you carry yourself. Like when people do these things where they like show like some fucking like Arnold Schwarzenegger looking trans person like playing a sport like that, like you have to understand that like for someone like me that transitioned, the idea of like ever being presented in a way that made me look masculine like that would be embarrassing for me because I've transitioned to a woman.
Right.
Like, why would I want to do that?
Yes. Good point. Yeah. On a side note, because we're gonna be wrapping up soon, but I just saw I had a DM from Nasty Neil a little while back. I think I tried to get him on because we were talking about Rob and John or whatever. But
I love Rob.
You're a big Rob fan?
I've become a Rob fan. I watched.
There we go.
I did a lot of homework this weekend, Nick. I wanted to ask you about so many things that I learned about the Dabbleverse. Like I did. Yeah, there's years that I just but I saw a lot of Rob stuff and like I'm fascinated by him. But I love him. He's just that guy's the real deal.
So we get all right. I'll talk with Neil. We'll try and get something together. Maybe like the four of us, or at least I'll get Neil on some night if you want to come. We'll talk about Rob and some other shit. John, cool.
I've always been clear that I never hated him. I just noticed that he's got a loose wire when I was on BYB once.
Yeah.
And so all I've done since then is just try to poke at him to get him to just say all that horrible trans shit to me because it's so funny.
Nice.
Athletes to collect any significant data whatsoever. So the NCAA moving to reverse trans-inclusive policies over a non-issue is indicative of where priorities among helping marginalized communities really stand. They're non-existent. Riley Gaines is now being realized as a poster child for anti-trans, pro-traditional woman. She's a political pundit now. I mean, she's written a book about it. She's got a podcast about it. She's got merch about it. She hosts debates with Charlie Kirk about it. And now we have her teammate who also grifted to the right, teaching the younger generation why such a small amount of people will ruin their future. And that's my biggest problem with these podcasts. To be totally fair, they do have on guests with opposing political beliefs to explore other ideologies and line of thinking, but they're obviously less open-minded and offer some pushback. In podcast episodes like these, with someone like Caitlin Wheeler, there is no pushback whatsoever. Just complete acceptance of everything being said, which, tends to do more harm than good, especially with the average conservative pundit's public track record. Take the Programming Lions podcast episode number 39, Hetero Awesomeness with Mark Fitzpatrick.
Welcome to the Programming Lions podcast, where we are on a mission to build young patriots and productive minds. Today, we've got a really interesting topic. Heterosexual Awesomeness Month. Ever thought about that? Paying homage to, those who brought you into this world?
Yeah. Have you ever thought about having
Nick,
a month
can you pause
to
it for a
celebrate
second?
those that brought you into this?
Yep.
Can you present the screenshot I just put in the...
Yep. The picture or the...
Not the Epstein one, the screenshot.
Okay. Yep. Okay.
So just soak that in. At a certain point, you have to take it up with Merriam-Webster.
There you
But
go.
just so everyone understands. I go, what is the difference between women in terms of sex and in terms of gender? So, okay. They can... You give one more second. Well, I know it might take Krishan a little bit longer to read it, but just he can rewind it. We can go back.
There we go. If I had the Jeopardy theme, I'd play that. Oh, there you go.
I would say play yakety sax.
Best buddies. Worry about this stuff instead, maybe.
Yeah.
Indoctrination.
Keep them away from your children.
Yep.
Keep the president away from your children.
Absolutely. I would.
This world, aka all straight people, not just your parents, but everyone that is heterosexual.
We did look at the month coming up. It definitely over the last several years has become a bigger and bigger thing for the way folks decide to celebrate that month, and more extreme. And all of that has just become a whole lot for a lot of people, obviously.
For a lot of
too
people.
much for a lot of people. And so we were thinking, hey, we don't want to be negative.
Yeah, I'm sure this guy crushes pussy. This guy is probably king heterosexual over here.
Oh, he's very straight.
Like they never get it. Like the whole reason it's It's not even like celebrated. It's like you're told to be ashamed of something, so you're like, I'm not ashamed of it. No one ever told you to be ashamed of being heterosexual. That's why it doesn't exist. That's simple as that.
If you let people
Yeah,
not
against what-
hide in the closet, then you don't have this
Right. Yes. This guy.
contradiction
In
that everyone
particular,
is
yeah.
thinking.
Other people are doing. We believe in freedom. People have the freedom to choose and celebrate what they want to do as long as they can do it within the bounds of the law and not take away other people's freedom. So that's fine. We're for that. But can we do something that's positive during that month that would not be the same thing that necessarily somebody else is doing? So
He's dancing around the word quite a bit here, but if you haven't caught on, Mark Fitzpatrick here feels like Pride Month is a little verbose, and he wants to celebrate something a little more positive by doing what he likes to call Heterosexual Awesomeness Month.
and enough is enough with the extremeness that everything's gotten to with horrible things in libraries and chemical castrations and puberty blockers and all these things.
Chris, if you make it this far, is this indoctrination? 2 little boys listening about heterosexual awesomeness month? Like, how do you explain that to your kids?
From these 2 cock smokers.
Yeah. I mean, the dad's got a very gay haircut. Very gay haircut. He's yeah. So like heterosexual, like whoa son, I stuck my dick in your mom's pussy, and that's heterosexual. You know, like I've been told you're not supposed to talk to kids about sex. Like that's why they're all afraid of the trans storytelling, because they think trans fucking storytellers are telling kids about sex or grooming them or whatever the fuck. Here they're literally talking to these little kids about fucking how great it is to be heterosexual.
And Krishan, you fucking imbecile. It's because it's not leftists weaponizing homosexuality. It's just being a human and opening your eyes to what's really happening, which is very hard for you because you just live in a bizarre microcosm bubble. But when I'm saying someone is like in the case like right now, it's like I'm speaking to people all zooming out and just looking at this picture and then looking at the guy on the left and then thinking that he's saying gay people are bad and
yeah, like look, it's
and we have to wrestle with that because the biggest obstacles to like freedom for gay and trans people is a bunch of closeted people that are projecting because they're like insecure about it. I mean, that's your whole movement. You're probably you know what you've got in your hard drive too, motherfucker.
Like I don't know, like I'm not like, yeah, I'm heterosexual. Like if you have to project how proud you are to be heterosexual, I'm not saying the guy's definitely gay, but a lot of times you got something to hide. That's why you're doing it. You're trying to cover for it, you know?
I know, and that's like the most boring part about becoming an adult, especially when you get interested in politics at a young age, is like that we want it to be these like much more complex social issues and policy disagreements, and then you just learn that most people are just projecting, like obviously projecting, like people just telling on themselves the most, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And yeah.
That are going on for kids that are affecting
And-
kids.
Mark here is the perfect example of a guest that GSD Nation features as a sort of role model for the boys. A conservative that is vehemently opposed to anything woke or gay or anything else that could poison the brain of my sweet, innocent, hopefully straight child. Anyway, Mark Fitzpatrick and his friends hate black people.
There's the Basque district. Again, it's clean. There aren't any black people here.
And tons of Mormons.
Not so much of a role model, huh? This Heterosexual Awesomeness Month debuted last year and garnered so much attention due to its boastful and shocking nature that they decided to do the same thing again this year. But this time, taking it up a notch. And Heterosexual Awesomeness Fest was...
Yeah.
You need to police this because I made the mistake of turning the chat on like at a certain point here. But can we just like acknowledge how retarded Krishan's statement was right there? Like Krishan, so after all that, like, and Mitch is just making just clearly great points. He says, you guys are in denial. Like after everything we just said, he said, you know they're openly gay conservatives, right? Like he doesn't understand the point we just made.
Yeah, well, first off,
openly gay conservatives couldn't be projecting. That would be the opposite of what we're saying.
Yeah, there's no projection. And
it's so stupid.
The people we just showed were talking about heterosexual awesome this month. So
yeah,
obviously they're
he
not.
doesn't know what
openly
projection
gay.
means.
Yeah.
I still don't think he knows what projection means. I have to pee out.
Go ahead. Yeah.
born. And, well, it didn't necessarily go as planned.
I'm gonna get a.
God damn you.
The hardest.
About, well, several dozen people's answer to Pride festivals. That's about how many showed up to Cecil D. Andrews Park last Friday and Saturday in Boise for the first ever Hetero Awesomeness Festival.
Ooh, when the local news station is throwing shots at you, that's how you know you embarrassed yourself. But let's see what he has to say.
Overall impression of the weekend was big success.
But let's see what he has to say.
Cecil D. Andrews Park being about, well, several dozen people's answer
Several
to Pride
dozen.
festivals.
All right.
That's about how many showed up to Cecil D. Andrews Park last Friday and Saturday in Boise for the first ever Hetero Awesomeness Festival.
Ooh, when the local news station is throwing shots at you, that's how you know you embarrassed yourself. But let's see what he has to say.
Overall impression of the weekend was big success. We did what we said we were going to do, which is provide a free event for people to come and celebrate traditional family values, gather together with kids. We had the kids zone set up. We had a stage set up with great music. We had some things to contend with for sure. One of which was some chilly and rainy weather on Friday that I think kept quite a few people away. And then some chilly weather on Saturday that was breezy. And then we also had the onslaught of nonstop attacks from the morally bankrupt, degenerate Pride community on anybody that mentioned that they were going to get involved with our event in the months leading up to it, which caused a lot of sponsors and people to say they weren't going to be involved or attend.
It was a setup by the morally bankrupt, degenerate Pride community. The same community that you're hosting this event in spite of. Also, starting with, it went great, there was a great turnout, to then saying that the weather and the Pride community ruined our event, just makes me think you didn't have a good event.
Could it be that people just didn't want to be a part of it?
No, a lot of people wanted to be a part of it.
But they weren't.
God damn.
No, we had 700 people show up to the event. 700 to 1,000.
Yeah, we had 700 people show up exactly. Around 700 to 1,000, somewhere in between there. It's a close estimation.
One thing I learned is these are expensive. Because like even just like the police officers are $11,500 plus security. We have security that's $7,000. Anyways, it all comes up to $85,000-ish, and I told them we've only raised about 20 to 25,000.
This is not about money.
It's not about money, but I am in debt.
This is about doing what we said we were going to do and celebrate traditional family values during this month when a lot of the country feels like
Ava, so literally the news, they showed it. It was sparse. It said there were several dozen people showed up to this thing. Then the guy tried claiming there was like 700 or more. And yeah, he to this fucking conservative fest. I mean, sorry, heterosexual fest. So.
Real heterosexual.
Yeah. It was a real big hit.
they're expected to celebrate the moral depravity of what Pride tries to do at their events.
Dude, no one is asking you to celebrate Pride Month. You're actually not obligated to partake in the moral depravity of boy kissing boy and girl kissing girl. You're literally just hosting a straight-themed event to be a contrarian. And to be a bigot.
There aren't any black people here.
Yeah, you heard that. Boise is a clean city because
there aren't any black people here.
Okay.
And that's okay with you.
Nice. Chad, what did he say about bringing a more positive approach to Pride Month?
Can we do something that's positive during that month that would not be the same thing that necessarily somebody else is doing? So
hey, but to be fair, he did say that he wanted to cater to free speech and doesn't care what anyone says as long as it doesn't have a negative impact.
If I'm going to be not okay with things or apologize for things, I would have to apologize far more for all the wicked Pride people who came into our event and did wicked things. So I have a man who pretended to be or maybe he is, I don't know, dishonorably putting on an army uniform, lying and deceiving people to get on stage to say
he knows a lot about dishonorably putting on a uniform.
Oh, big time. Let's see.
Elephants taking pride in training suicide.
And do an entirely different thing to promote transsexualism.
At church they condemned him and called him a she.
Ah, right. Okay, the good old, we can say we hate black people if they can sing about trans people. Just to point something out, since we're on the topic of positive versus negative, saying you're glad there's no black people is negative, that's a negative statement, and someone singing about accepting trans people is positive and kind and empathetic, just so we can sort of get things in order here. Mark Fitzgerald, along with people like Caitlin Wheeler, are only some of the guests GSD Nation takes pride in allowing to educate their youth. And it is conservatives like these that mistake a minority of the population for causing the most harm to our society, when in reality, you're just straight up doing the thing you're calling out, warping the radical acceptance and embrace of the LGBTQIA community into some weird indoctrination cult just so you can indoctrinate your kids by putting hate in their heart. And again, worse than that, you put them on a podcast. You made your kids conservative and put them on a podcast. That is going to cause irreparable damage to their digital footprint. Damage that will really only make it easier to stay being a conservative influencer in order to avoid. Listen, politically inclined children out there, this is the last job that you want. Go play with your friends. Go play Fortnite. Crank those 90s You kid. You don't want to end up like me. Person in the middle of being a political pundit and social media influencer. It's not a good gray area to exist in. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to like and
So, I believe that's like way worse indoctrination. You know, teaching
You know-
kids, against black people, having young boys talk about fucking abortion and school shooting. But even all that, I still think there's way worse issues to talk about than this. So, if Chris and them have a problem with indoctrination, I hope they have a problem with this as well. I just wish they would focus on, other shit that's way more important. Like all the shit we talked about at the beginning. The economy, kids going fucking hungry, kids not having fucking electricity, all sorts of shit like that.
But he won't.
I know. I guess you're probably right. I'm just hoping.
The thing you see, like, I think you see me. Wait, go ahead, Ed. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, go ahead.
I feel like the thing that you see me wrestle with, because like between two modes, is like that guy said that thing about black people, just for one example,
Yeah.
and I guarantee that all of those people would be indignant and offended if you called them a racist, and us watching that will trigger people, and they won't admit that they're racist, or they'll have to do some gymnastics around that. And for me, like the wrestle thing I have about even watching that guy articulate this points, which in a previous point in my life that would have been all I wanted to do, is that that doesn't matter at all. Like he's laying out that out, and I'm finding myself going to the dark side on this, where it's like there's like just those 35% of people, and I'd rather just berate them and insult them, because they're not going to listen. They're not going to like Krishan isn't going to watch that and compute any of it.
No,
You know what
I
I'm
don't.
saying?
Yeah, I don't think I can get, even though I'm friends with Krishan, I don't think I can get through the Krishan. Krishan, he's got his own show, he's got his own ideas, he's well entrenched. And Chris could be as well. Obviously, I don't know Chris as well. I was just sort of hoping, because I see he gets along very well with the LGBTQ people I see in the Dabbleverse. So,
Well, that's cute. It's
I know what you're saying.
not to be real like
No, go ahead.
sentimental or emotional about it.
Yep.
It's cute that he makes those exceptions, and I've been the exception. Like before I came out as a brown person growing up in the South, but the trauma from being made out to be an inferior human when in your developmental years is a serious thing that takes a really long time for someone to get through. And so you can make all these exceptions that you want to, but when you start like attacking groups of people that are teenagers, they're in high school trying to develop their own identity, it actually fucks people up. It fucked me up for a really, really long time, just on the racial level. And I think I was like 25 years old where I first admitted that I was Pakistani, like to myself, and was proud of it, because I was just beaten dead, like, you know what I mean?
Down, yeah.
And so people need to understand that they have the luxury from their little perches of recording Whitesnake bass covers, that these kinds of things like all are all contributing to like fucking people's lives up that honestly you don't even really give a shit about. So fucking drop it. And unless you want to be serious about it, but you're not. But the type of videos Chris is making there, it's like you're not serious about these issues. You're just fucking doing aggrievement content, and it's fucking lame. So fuck that. That's all I have to say about it.
Fair enough. Mitch, yeah, just to be fair, I'd be lying if I said I didn't teach my kids, a lot of the stuff that I believe. There are certain things I leave open that I tell them I want to choose for themselves, like their religious beliefs and stuff like that. But sure, I try to teach my kids the values that I have, the values that my wife has. So I assume this guy on this podcast would teach his sons that sort of thing. I'm just saying that having his children out there podcasting, teaching it to other children, it is again also fair game. But if that has to be indoctrination, if queer kid stuff is indoctrination, you can't have it. Guys like Chris, I don't believe they can have it both ways. But the beautiful thing is, as a parent, you can, try and watch your kids like you're supposed to do and monitor what they're watching. So if I don't want my kids watching whatever GT, whatever the fuck that right wing thing is, they don't have to have them watch it. If you don't want your kids watching queer kid stuff, they don't have to watch it.
Yeah.
These things should be allowed to exist, but let's not say one's indoctrination and the other one is not.
And yeah, and I came from a religious family, and I just politely just didn't ever believe it. And no matter what my parents tried. And also, I think people need to understand that, like, I think Nick's the same way. For me to like feel comfortable making a statement about Hamas, like, it took me like 6 months to like wrestle with that issue in my head as like someone in their mid-30s. To have a 12-year-old speaking on a YouTube video that people will be able to find for the rest of their life is fucked up.
Yeah, that's true too. So Krishan, the point we were making, or I was making, or we were making, is you missed the first half of this. We were watching guy Chris Thompson, who I'm friendly with on in the Dabbleverse. He did a video mostly on trans YouTube channel called Queer Kid Stuff, and how it's the worst thing. It's called the child abuse, indoctrination. It's just terrible. And we were trying to make the point that you don't have your kids watch it. What's really terrible, like, is kids going hungry for kids. Is kids not knowing if they're gonna have a roof over their head. Not know if they're gonna have heat. That's the stuff we should really be focusing on more than a YouTube channel that you don't have to watch or you don't have to allow your kids to watch.
I'm just not gonna sit there and let you talk about Nick or me like that, but Nick also, I'm not gonna sit there and hear that from somebody that mocks people that are in government assistance and doesn't want free lunches for kids. You fucking douchebag. Go fuck yourself. Don't lecture us on pompousness.
Yeah,
I'll be pompous
good
about
point.
that
Yeah.
because I know where our heart is and where our policies.
All right, Krishan, but who gets to make that call? I think religion can be bad indoctrination. You might think it's good indoctrination. It's a matter of opinion, and the videos that the queer kids stuff, they were trying to make the point that it's aimed at like kindergartners, and I'm like, well, kindergartners can't fucking read. Kindergartners aren't going to type in queer kid stuff on a fucking tablet and find this shit on their own. So it's not indoctrination if your kids aren't going to be able to fucking find the stuff on their own. And again, the videos were made just for a certain small group of people that could benefit from it. That's it. Free speech, brother. It's kind of like, if you don't want to watch it, don't watch it. Just like
when.
Go on.
Sorry.
I was just gonna say, just like I don't want to watch that fucking. I actually both YouTube channels we covered today, I'm not gonna watch either of them. That's the beauty of it.
Yeah,
It's not,
and
it's not this
honestly,
big thing.
we're not arguing for indoctrination. We're responding to videos making claims about indoctrination.
Yes.
What we're saying about those things is that we live in a society, and this society has previously tried to keep religion out of schools for a particular reason. There's a separate thing that's happening that we can't have an adult conversation about because of people like you, which is that there are transgender people and there are gay people. And videos like that, when they're presented as forms of indoctrination and misrepresented as being fed into an algorithm that they're not, he was lying, that's not something a kid just accidentally finds and watches by their own, is that what we said earlier, is that sometimes there are parents that just love their kids and their kid is trans or gay, and they're just trying to find a way to like navigate that. And some people like will watch a video like that and it can help them through it. Whether or not you do that or whether or not we would is a different story. But that was the purpose of that video, because that's a real thing that happens in society that you just want to write off and throw those people in the gutter and insult. And the people that made that video didn't want to do that.
And they don't teach queer kid stuff in school. They do make you they try to make you pledge allegiance though.
I like that I taught him what moving the goalpost was, because remember, he didn't know what that meant in that debate, and now he's using it. I had to teach him.
Is that him?
Yeah,
It's an old saying, my friend. Yeah.
He thought that was like some debate school tactic. I was like, no, it's basic. Basic concept.
This blows my mind because I have 3 kids going through the school system. They're not being taught all this shit I'm being told they're being taught. They're not being taught any of this stuff, Krishan. There's no what the fuck's that bullshit you guys tried saying they're teaching? The I can't remember what the fuck it's called. Whatever. I can't remember. But they're not teaching it, man. They're still teaching the fucking same shit. My kid is he's got a math class, he's got a fucking English class. He's doing culinary as a specialty. So he's got culinary, he's got an Italian class. He doesn't have a fucking queer gender fucking class. He doesn't have a DEI higher class or whatever you guys think. They're teaching all this shit at school. They're not teaching it.
But Krishan's not interested in that real information about how the world really works.
All right. I think we'll we're
I hope I didn't yap too much.
No, it was great. It was great, Ava.
I switched gears to attack mode halfway through.
No, that was good. That
Sorry.
was I had fun. Yeah, do it again. Well, we have all these topics you and I always want to talk about. So we'll
I'm always down to talk to you. I love you.
yeah, awesome. We'll do it again. Maybe even next week if you're available. We'll figure something else out.
Yeah,
But
let's do it.
thank you.
I'm enjoying these two. Yeah, let's
I
do
am
it
too.
again.
Yeah, it's a
let's do
nice
it.
little split from the other shit. Do your plugs, Ava. Tell the people where they can find you. Find your music and your other stuff.
avaraiza.bandcamp.com. I'm starting to upload clips of like altercations that I've had with other people. I'm going to be posting me destroying the final boss, me versus Rob Saul round 1, and me versus the whole panel on Shmuel Buckman's show going to bat for Stuttering John in the next week. So youtube.com/Ava Raiza. Is that what it is? And
Awesome.
yeah, there we go. And I'm about to post like 4 new songs that I was supposed to finish this weekend, but I ended up just getting on streams, which is the worst for my music discipline.
All right. Thank you, Ava, so much. And yeah, I'm OG Mumbling Nick. Obviously, you can find me here on YouTube at OG Mumbling Nick and on X. Do a political show every Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern time. I do this show once a week. It's usually on a different night, but I'll try and get it more stabilized or whatever. And Ava's been my guest lately, and it's been a lot of fun. So thank you all for joining. Oh, and I'm on Echo Pineapple's channel on Saturdays at 3 p.m. But
You're doing
thank
great
you,
work.
guys.
I'm a huge fan, Nick. All right.
I'm a big fan of you, Ava. Thank you
All
so
right.
much.
Okay, bye-bye.
Take care, everybody. Peace. Hey, ladies of the Dabbleverse. I'm good at eating pussies.
Mumbling Nick in the back room, Clary. Cool pineapples rolls too straight to bear. It's the C-set cake, you've got some flair. Time to break the chains and take the air. I will try my best, won't let it rest. With a mic in hand, I'll ace this test. From the shadows to the limelight's crest, I will try my best. Yeah, I'll try my best. Yeah, I'll try my best. Nick's voice stumbles, but the words ignite. In the chaos, truth takes flight. No more scripts, no boss in sight. He's got his dream, he'll do it right. I will try my best, won't let it rest. With a mic in hand, I'll ace this test. From the shadows to the limelight's crest, I will try my best. Yeah, I'll try my best. Yeah, I'll try my best. Nick's voice stumbles, but the words ignite. In the chaos, truth takes flight. No more scripts, no boss in sight. He's got his dream, he'll do it right. I will try my best, won't let it rest. With a mic in hand, I'll ace this test. From the shadows to the limelight's crest, I will try my best. Yeah, I'll try my best. Interviews roll, stories unfold. Mumbling no more, his voice turns bold. Mr. C cheers from the sidelines cold. Echo pineapple left in the cold. Now the studio's his, the future bright. Nick's own podcast is guiding light. No more whispers, his tone takes flight. He's soaring now with all his might.
Taz. if you want me to go down on you, I will. I'll try my best.